92.7. How was your weekend? Over the weekend, the rains came again, and once again, Accra had questions to answer. From flooded communities to the painful scenes from Aveno, where a building collapse has left families and residents shaking. And you know that the city is reminding us that development is not just about putting up structures, it is about safety, planning, enforcement, and doing the right thing before tragedy forces us to do. And as the conversation on flooding continues, authorities are again talking tough about illegal structures on waterways. Well, that's not the first time we're hearing something like this, is it? Also, the Ghanaians returning from South Africa, some coming back with pain, loss and uncertainty, but they are happy they are home. They are happy they've been evacuated. It's been a packed weekend, and of course we're carrying it into this new week. We're doing this with you, the listener. Join us on our social media platform at 3FM 927. We'll be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. 16 unsafe buildings to be demolished across Accra. That's according to the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak. We'll talk about that this morning. We'll take you to Kumasi as well. The Konfanochi Teaching Hospital is in the news. They've been in the news for the past few days. We understand everything that is going on, put it into perspective, what impact it is expected to have, what changes we want to see, so that you can make informed decisions. Also this morning, government clears up 1.5 billion SNIT debt. No arrears carried into 2026. That's according to the Director General. So it's a busy morning here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We are on your radio from now until 10 o'clock in the morning, where we'll make way for news at 10. So stay with us here. We're doing this together. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. The team is joining me shortly, and then we'll begin the paper review.
3FM Sunrise.
This morning, I'd like to start from 3news.com. It says that Housing Minister announces task force to remove illegal structures on Accra waterways. We'll get the details now. And this is what the story says. You can find it on 3news.com. The Minister for Works and Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert Ajay, has announced plans by the government to intensify efforts to remove unauthorized structures in flood-prone areas across Accra as part of measures to address the city's perennial flooding problem. The minister made the announcement during an inspection tour of several flood-affected communities following Wednesday's heavy downpour, which left parts of the capital inundated and disrupted the movement of residents and motorists. He led a team of officials to inspect critical flood hotspots, including the bridge at Domi Pillar 2, where rising floodwaters overflowed the structure and entered nearby homes. Well, while speaking to journalists during the visit, the minister said the inspection revealed that the bridge's current capacity is inadequate to accommodate the increasing volume of water flowing through the area during heavy rainfall. And this is what we're asking this morning. Did we not know this before? We've always been saying that the floods in Accra, they have a pattern. We know the hotspots. We've known that for years. We've known that for decades. This is not the first time we're hearing floods have gone to Circle. Floods have taken over people's places in several areas. Sakumono, Kaneshi, all those flood-prone areas now that we have. We have known this. Accra's flood is mapped. It has a location. We know. This is not the first time we're getting to know that, oh, if it rains in Accra, this is where the rains get to. If it rains in Accra, these are the areas we expect to be flooded. No. If it rains in Accra, when it rains in Accra, we know the rains will go to A, B, C, D. We know community A will flood. We know community B will flood. Community C will flood. We know these areas will flood. With this information, what did we do with that information? What are we doing with that information? Now, the Minister for Works and Housing and Water Resources now announcing plans by government to intensify efforts to remove unauthorized structures in flood-prone areas. These structures did not emerge overnight. That is the problem we're talking about. These structures, they were built gradually. It was not by magic that buildings appeared in flood-prone areas. The retention sites, that is not what happened. They were put up by people. People saw that. Officials see the buildings come up and they watch on. And after the floods come and destroy lives and property, then we're going to talk about, oh, we have to remove this building. We have to demolish this building. This is not what we want to see. In the story, the minister visited the Domi Pillar 2 area. And I should tell you that the Domi Pillar 2 area around Christian Village yesterday, there was a report that a life was lost. And this is because if you know that area, if you're coming down from the Achimota Forest Road, you take your left towards the Kisaman Christian Village area, the Parakou Junction Bridge. That's the bridge we're talking about. And this bridge, anytime that it rains, it overflows. This is not the first time it is happening. And the unfortunate thing yesterday is that while it was raining, some young men there, they gathered themselves, mobilized themselves to attempt to desilt the bridge, to attempt to remove some tree stumps, some refuse here and there, so that the water could pass under the bridge. Because every time the water overflows the bridge and then it enters people's homes. So they said, oh, let's put ourselves together. Let's go there and attempt to do something so that the water will not enter our homes or the impact will be reduced. Unfortunately, while they were doing that, a life was lost. While they attempted to clear the debris under the bridge, a life was lost. And I'm saying that whatever is under the bridge now, it did not happen 2 days ago. Whatever we see under the bridge at Domi Pillar 2, this bridge that somebody lost his life over, it is as a result of years of constant neglect. Join us on Facebook right now and you see how the bridge looks like. Broken. And yesterday, while I was taking the video, unfortunately, there was a man who seemed to be sweeping into the water, flowing under the bridge. And that talks about our own culpability in the problem that we're experiencing. Join us on Facebook now and you see the bridge that I'm talking about. So yesterday, as about 5 p.m., the residents gathered there. They said they will not allow any vehicle to pass because authorities do not seem to be minding them. And we'll hear from an eyewitness. Narrating to us what happened yesterday as a result of the flood. And this is a place that the Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources went before the incident. Yesterday when I got there were NADMO officials there. The Gais NADMO coordinator was there. Some police officers were also there. I understand yesterday the members of parliament had come there because this area sits between two constituencies. It's a border, it's a boundary. Theresa Wuni had been there, and then John Seto Dumalo had also been there. They've all seen this problem. There is an assemblyman, there are municipal chief executives responsible for that area. But no, we had to wait for somebody to lose his life. Take a listen to the eyewitness now, narrating to us what happened yesterday.
Ndra say na domo for omo ba say na yi piano wo so no ye talk to abi ko na ka kiti so di me ko ba na minti man ko na ne no so na to yi bola no ye mu ba ko ojina ni che ni ye four e do so ba four na ye jina bridge no so say di aka no so ada side ye four na ye jina bridge no so ye yi Indiano Timi Eviano, yes, Bolan, they took the channel. No say any papa quiet day at all. In Sunumu, Dr. Musano, Opa, Eviano, the Oversono, Opa, also Otto Musana, meeting side. A so Natalia, or that all corners, so nothing, all community, Miss So Natalia, and Mrs. Sinin, I was share bridge in wedding. I said, on such a well-letting boots. So, it's also true to Miss my own days are. My brother, it's me. Yes, I'm going to be watching with him. And I did America. They didn't notice. You could do anything. Or I say, you need to prepare. But the name is so good. You find us. No fine. You're trying to go there for God. The dinatis are also yet the never there or bet my play. I'm not also I bear way no. But they also want also muno ana esati etwini na den sati since then ya hunu bi e ya wejina na enu bufo na ya ye enu bufo na abaye mu aye dai de ga block kwan se empanifo ade bi omu fa omu de ekoso ase omu imagine se omu ba na ti ase ana sabi bi se etu omu a ombe felisen enu ti na ye block isa kwan no enya bibia anti a bridge ni na ye pese omu nyama ye bridge ni pe omuye bridge na nya de so be wuro bi adam pio there is about don do mezo ba then do mezo ba say there is about say omu ba no mko bandra say na there is no wa say ndra and so mu yi bia na san so no be ba chi na no wa say ndra constituency we say me say eye madam LP Makolo
What's greatest 3FM Sunrise.
Where was your mom? Where was your dad? Where was your grandfather? Where was your great-grandfather? Generations after, we're still seeing the same thing. And then in June 3, 2015, the defining disaster, 150 plus dead. Damages over $55 million. 2023, record frequency, 20 separate incidents. May 2025, 132 millimeters rainfall. Capital is paralyzed as a result. See the progress from bad to worse. So flooding in Accra is a parting, it is not a surprise. And again, Accra's flood has already been measured and mapped. 35.66% high flood risk zone. 40.00 medium to high risk zones. 71% highly susceptible Accra metro area. Data from geophysical study. That is what we have. Data from geophysical study. That is what we have. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next. Do you know how much it will cost to fix Ghana's flooding problem? I'll tell you, $5 billion. We know we will get there. $5 $5 billion. Yes, it's a huge amount of money. Because we're not talking about just desilting something. We're not talking about constructing some drain somewhere. That's not what it would take to solve the flood. It's about resetting an entire system. It's about dealing extensively with a problem that has been with us for decades. And that is why it is costing $5 billion. But when you think about the scale of the problem, you begin to understand why we need $5 billion. This is not just about clearing one gutter at Circle or dredging one drain at Odona. It's about rebuilding a whole flood control system. It means that protecting waterways. It means removing illegal structures. It means managing waste properly. It means planning communities better. It means making sure water has somewhere to pass when the rains come. Yes, it is expensive. That's an important point to make. But flooding is expensive whether we fix it or not. If we fix it, it means that we're paying for proper infrastructure. If we do not fix it, it means that people will pay this $5 billion and even more through lost lives and property and emergency spending every rainy season. Let's bring the issue closer to home. The same communities keep appearing in flood reports. Odo, Alajo, Agbegbulo, Shikaneshi, Weja, Nima, Sakoma, Klagon, many others. Over 47 different communities affected. And the numbers keep increasing. Lots and lots of communities keep adding up to this 47 number. Communities that hitherto were not flooding, now they are flooding. If every year the same communities flood, then it means you already know where the danger is. So when we say that, when authorities say that, they are going to look at the areas that are flooded and see what to do. For the people living in these areas, in these communities, it is their yearly fear. And this is why it is important to understand this. Because behind every area where these lives are lost, where the flood is hitting, a life is lost, families are destroyed, businesses are destroyed, livelihoods are impacted.
But we know we will.
Let's look at one of the biggest problems as well. Join us on Facebook, 3FM927. Let's talk about this. We're talking about institutional overlap. Private waste contractors involved. Ghana Met is involved. NADMO, Hydrological Authority.
Where we are going.
EPA, MMDAs. Yes, the Ghana Met may warn us about the rains. NADMO may respond when disaster happens. The Hydrological Authority, they may deal with drains and water flow.
We are going.
There's another agency, I don't know whether you know about them, Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority. They may deal with planning. EPO look at environmental issues.
But we know we will.
And the MMDA is responsible at the local level. Private waste contractors, they're also involved in keeping the communities clean. So you know that on paper, a lot of institutions are available to help us prevent or reduce the impact of floods. But in reality, when the flood happens, people ask a simple question: who is responsible? Many institutions are involved, but none is clearly answering the question when the system is confused. When many institutions are involved and none of the institutions is answering the question, means that the system is confused. And when the system is confused, you know that the water will not wait. It will punish the ordinary people, you and I. It is you and I who live there. It is you and I who the rains will punish. I live at Dome Kwabinga, and I use the Pillar 2 bridge often. Let's move on to the next one. If we're talking about why the city is flooding, you would think, choked drains, yes, a major part. Plastic waste, major part. Undersized culverts, a major reason. Concrete surfaces, wetland loss. All very important issues. It just tells you that the city is building faster than it is draining. It just tells you that we are developing, we are growing. But as we do that, as we grow, shouldn't we also be looking at ways to reduce the impact of these things? If we can't reduce our growth, if we can't control our growth, can't we control the impact, the negative impact that the growth will have on us? That's the reality we're talking about this morning. Join us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. live on Facebook as well. This is not the only thing we're talking about this morning. We have a lot for you. But we just had to take this out of the way. Closely linked to the flooding is building collapse. And we know what happened in Aven over the weekend. Now the Interior Minister is telling us that 16 unsafe buildings are to be demolished across Accra. And I'll read the story for you. The Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, has revealed that 16 buildings across the Greater Accra region have been identified as structurally unsafe and are set to be demolished in the coming days as part of efforts to prevent further loss of life from building collapses. And this announcement follows the collapse of a 3-story building at Aveno in North Kaneshi on Sunday, June 17, which claimed 2 lives and left 3 others injured. Speaking to journalists, this is what he said: that government through the National Disaster Management Organization has already identified a number of structures considered dangerous and unfit for habitation. You know the question I want to ask? When did we notice that these buildings, that these structures are dangerous and unfit for habitation? According to emergent measures are being taken to evacuate occupants and demolish the affected buildings before they pose a greater threat to lives and property. And the Interior Minister said the exercise forms part of a broader government strategy to reduce preventable disasters and ensure that unsafe structures do not become death traps for residents. And the Aveno collapse, it is the latest in a series of incidents that have renewed concerns about the dangers posed by aging, poorly maintained and improperly constructed buildings, highlighting the need for stricter enforcement of building safety regulations. And join us on Facebook right now, because I want to show you another slide that is talking about the building collapse we've seen in the past couple of days. And the producer will get that for us. We're talking about building collapse since March. Buildings that have collapsed since March alone in Accra. It will tell you that there is something that seems to be fundamentally wrong. Ghana's building collapse registry 2026. Total collapses March to June, 3. How many people are dead? 4. Hospitalized. Over 20 people have been hospitalized as a result. All the 2026 incidents so far concentrated within the Greater Accra region. You know the Adenta New Side building collapse? Yeah. The Accra New Town building collapse, that's what I'm talking about. And the latest is the Aveno incident. 100% of the recorded major structural failures in 2026 occurred in dense urban or newly developing sectors of Accra. They occurred in areas in Accra that are dense, urban, populated. Let's move on. Now, this is the frequency of the collapse. It seems to be escalating moving into June, and we're still in the rainy season. We're not out of the season yet. So what do we expect? In March 30, Accra New Town, 3 dead, 20 hospitalized. June 3, Adenta New Site, 1 dead, 4 rescued. And then after June 3, a few days after, June 7, the Aveno incident happened. So 2 major incidents occurred within 96-hour window in early June. Could we have prevented it? Could we have reduced the impact it would have on us? We're in the rainy season. Let's put it in perspective here. Yes, it will rain. We can't prevent it. We can't control it. So the heavy rains and severe downpours that are cited in, or that are a common denominator in the building collapse, it will happen. It will rain. You can't stop it. But when the rains come, the rains alone, they may not be enough to pull down a building that is properly constructed, a building that is properly maintained, a building that meets all the specified conditions according to engineers, use the proper real materials, strong materials, everything according to engineers, a building that meets certain tests. The rains alone may not be able to take it down. But if the rains come and they meet a building that is structurally vulnerable, that's the point of failure that you're seeing on your screens right now. And investigations reveal that these are not isolated anomalies, but the predictable result of extreme weather stressing unfinished or compromised architecture. Is there another one we're talking about? What do we expect going forward? What should we see going forward? We're crossing our fingers. We hope that something like this does not happen again. But the Interior Minister is telling us that 16 buildings have been identified as unsafe. Efforts are underway to evacuate, and then we'll see what happens going forward. Prince Kuma is joining us. Prince, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, Crosby.
How's your morning looking like?
It's amazing. It's just unfortunate that some of these developments are coming up.
It's disturbing. Where do you live?
I live around Legon, North Legon.
Oh, you do experience floods?
No.
You live in the rich area, eh?
Not really. Not really. But maybe I would say unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm just fortunate enough. No one is safe. We had instances where some prime areas in Accra got flooded. So it's nothing new.
And the sad thing is that the communities keep adding up. So a community that hitherto was not flooding, now it is flooding because we keep doing what will let it flood. You and I, and the people who are our bosses, who should be telling us what to do, enforcing the laws. We're all complicit in this. Let's go through the papers this morning. I'll start with the Republic Press this morning. It says that Mahama's men at odds as secession whispers grow louder. They're talking about the NDC presidential primaries that is yet to happen. Mahama's men at odds as secession whispers grow louder. It comes to the pictures of the finance minister, Ato Forsing, and the minister for food and agriculture, Eric Opoku. And these men, they've been in the news recently, and we'll tell you why they are in the news. Also, GMA backs Cath doctor strike, demands CEO's reinstatement within 3 days. We'll get the details also this morning. Plus, disaster in Accra, 2 dead, several trapped after buildings collapsed during heavy rains. Also this morning, the cash in the Silver saga, that just won't go away for South Africa's president. And Iran says staff blocked from entering US after players giving World Cup visas. Mr. Safwa Boahen is joining us as well. Safwa, good morning to you. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Crosby. It's good to see you. And you're actually doing the Lord's work this morning. I was so impressed listening to you because my heart is so heavy this morning.
Safwa, it's not easy.
In Accra, and it's so sad.
It's not easy.
Hi, good morning to you.
It's not easy. Yesterday, when I was leaving home to work, when I got to the Pilato area, the place was plenty of people were there. Oh. So I stopped and I said, "Oh, what is going on?" Then they are telling me that somebody has died because.
Yeah. I watched it. It was so sad.
It was sad.
And I mean, I live close to you, so you know, it was so sad when I saw this in the news, and the person was actually speaking with the passion, and I'm like, they were actually doing well, helping the community. I mean, you know, there's still the
dream. Yes, and they're telling us that this is not the first time they have made this appeal. And yesterday, when the incident happened, the guy says Nadmo was there. Yesterday, Nadmo came around after the incident. What did we do to prevent it? And then the trauma the guy would go through, seeing your friend losing his life. You did everything you could to save him.
And even the guilt that will come with it, because at a point he was saying that he was tired. He was trying to save the guy. And of course, he cannot. So that actually brings to question. in one of an explainer I did, was it Friday, when we were looking at who actually will be accountable if things like this start emanating out of the flood, because this is not a surprise, just like you rightly said. It's been happening as far back as, I think, 1930s. 1959.
Yes,
it keeps happening. And so what have we been doing? We know it's not just one government over and over, but there's been a successive government coming in, coming out, and they know, they have seen. So why aren't we doing anything about it?
Maybe we
just
we just do not care.
The collapse also at Aveno, which also blew my mind away, and with a guy who was taking a video of it and then had to lose his life just because he was trying to be a journalist at that time. And the work is not easy.
and the mayor is telling us that this building did not have permit.
How many months did it take for that building to be constructed? And they are saying nobody saw that?
Maybe it was magic. The building came from heaven. Full building. It got down from heaven just one day. So the mayor woke up one day, hey, the building is here. Hey.
This is so serious.
Prince, what do you have?
Oh my God.
Well, I will say I will be very candid this by saying that we are a politician, of course. I will say that we, the politicians that have been given power over the past decades, have not exercised that power decisively and boldly enough, in addressing these perennial flooding issues. Probably because of the political costs that often accompany such difficult but necessary decisions.
Yeah.
I've always maintained that in this country, one of the major contributors to this is that we have an attitudinal crisis because we are very emotional people. So the very moment you take bold decisions on demolishing buildings, you see people on social media saying that we'll vote against you. And recently, I think the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council embarked on some major demolition exercise.
Yeah.
And some people in the comment section saying that the military guys that have been pushing people, have they asked for the price of cement before? Have they asked for the price of, iron rods before? That's how we are. Now, people have changed their position on demolition because we are now overwhelmed with the situation. I believe that government has a role to play in terms of being decisive and bold enough in demolishing most of the structures. We know the solutions to this problem. We've been discussing this over the years. In fact, I've lost count of the number of times I had to sit on radio or TV to discuss this. We know the solution. It's a matter of actioning these policy measures. We've done all the investigations. The reports are available to
go to the various universities. You see a lot of research works, lot of theses, final year projects detailing floods and then what to do to solve them, but they are gathering dust.
So that means that we know the solutions to this problem. And while you were talking about the government taking very bold and decisive decision, it came to mind with the Aveno situation that happened was yesterday over the weekend.
Yes.
So that means that people are still issuing permits that are not supposed to be issued while we are also trying to, tear down structures that we're not supposed to.
Today, if you go to a certain assembly, you pass money somewhere and they'll give you.
And so that's the problem, because we keep reinventing the wheel if we are trying to demolish constructed buildings and then still people are building and they don't have permits to do so. So where's the problem? Why is this happening and we are not finding it out? And later on, we just see the building and we are like, we didn't know that they didn't have permits. I just don't get it.
Well, I think that's where the direction should be now, because if you look at the Ramsar site, some people might have issued, building permits for that. If they didn't, that means that the building in itself is illegal. Those buildings are being demolished. So while we are trying to track such people, in fact, it's not difficult to track people that issue permits.
Right.
It's very easy to do so. But I'm also saying that the fact that a permit was issued for you to go and build on a waterway does not mean that building should not be demolished. We can have those conversations independently. Those people will be punished as in those that issued the permits. And you, the one building, to suffer the consequences of it. In fact, I believe you have to take responsibility as Ghanaians. Sometimes you know very well that where I've bought the land is a waterway. It's prone, to flood.
Yes.
You still go ahead and build.
To be told,
simply because you want to own a property. I think we are not being honest to ourselves as Ghanaians. Sometimes you don't need an engineer to come and tell you are not supposed to build here. You fill up the land and build, simply because you manage to get you know, a permit from an assembly. You have a friends there, or you have some close relations there, relatives there. So you manage to get a permit. Then when your house gets flooded, you come and blame government. And some people will start blaming those that work at assemblies that they issue permits. I understand.
The blame should go around.
Those that issue permits should be punished. However, if you allow yourself to be, deceived into building in flood-prone areas,
well,
it's up to you.
Maybe I don't know. I've come.
I was just about saying this. You should ask. Ignorance is no excuse.
Yes.
Where we have gotten to as a country.
I will ask. Okay, so I've gotten some land from somewhere. Somebody has sold me a land.
Yes.
I've gone to the various authorities that I've gotten this land here. You tell me wait come and do your registration. I'm no expert. Yes, I need to know. I need to protect myself. I need to be responsible for myself. That's true. But if you're not helping me, all of us will lose.
So that's the thing. It tells us that the solution is not just one.
No.
It
goes. It is enough to go around.
Yes.
Anyways, let's go through the papers, Senior.
Funding crisis. I'm reading the papers.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. This the news center.
What is it saying?
So the funding crisis hits agri sector. MOFA receives only 12.4% of budgets. It comes with a picture of the Agriculture Minister and that of Finance Minister Honorable Kasara Tuforsen.
Right. The other story is there?
Yes, Bawumia to review cocoa reports for policy response. Story on page 4. And also GGA honest icons call for stronger protection. Mr. Ibrahim Mahama offers 100 jobs to South Africa returnees. Story on page 7. And also ethical leadership, not algorithms, will define AI era is Ankoma. Story on page 3.
Oh, the paper. Safwa.
Okay, so the Daily Guide is giving us Child Rights International backs ID checks for porn sites. Interesting one. And Atuforsen named best performing minister. And also 2 dead, several injured in a Venmo building collapse, which still takes us to the whole flooding issue in the country. And no, so apparently it's not just Accra. A friend of mine told me that the auntie's home at Takwa. No, this is not funny. I'm not laughing, guys. Takwa has flooded, and when you enter the house, it has gotten to the waist level. Takwa, this is Western region, am I correct?
Yes.
Takwa is in the Western region.
It's in the Western
and so this is not just an issue in Accra, even though it's the main.
You are saying that Accra is flood prone. Accra lies in an area that makes it very easy for it to flood.
Takwa, my brother. Okay, let me take you to the.
Maybe it does. Maybe we don't know. Maybe it lies there.
Oh, maybe.
Then everywhere lies everywhere.
And so we are not safe as people in the country. You just have to be on the lookout.
I know, right?
Okay, so the Ghanaian Times is also giving us new NTC MD calls for teamwork on a ship, and also 1 dead, 3 rescued. North Industrial Area building collapse.
They are Veno. We understand the number is 2 now.
Yeah, now.
2 people
but
have
Ghanaian Times is telling us 1, so I think it needs to be updated. And also, government targets 30 million trees in 2026 after exceeding 2025 goal. Okay, the trees. All right, we'll come back to it. A government steps up flood control with new measures. I think the stepping up will be seen, and we'll say step up when we see the measures, the pragmatic measures on the grounds.
They say that the trees.
So if you say government steps up flood, I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll go into it.
I want to ask you a question based on the story, the tree story.
Okay, let me go to it.
If you plant a story,
plant a tree.
Planting. If you plant a tree at home, if you plant something at home, I bet it grows. You see it growing.
Yeah. But the ones they plant.
Have I said anything?
I've seen some.
You've seen some. The same number of.
I've seen some on University of Ghana.
No, you said some, but have you seen almost all the ones that are planted?
I've seen them grow.
You've seen them grow.
Yes.
Okay. So that is our daily checks.
You record this popular video, President Akufo-Addo instructing the chiefs to stand up. Sorry. And she really didn't stand up for Russia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was on University of Ghana campus.
So the trees they planted there, that one.
The one the president planted I'm sure because the president planted, much attention was given to them.
Praise this one. I don't know. I can't say something.
They have watered it well.
They are watered it well.
But then we're going to plant another one this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We'll plant other ones this year.
And they're saying the government targets 30 million trees. But I don't know the total amount as at 2025, how many they were able to plant and how many we can see per what President is saying. But if you are to plant another 30 million, I mean, this is actually good.
Have they told us
Planting
the
trees is good.
costs of the trees? How much?
Let me go to the story.
In fact, read to us the story.
Yeah,
and
let me
let's
do that.
let's see.
Give me a moment. That's page 14.
Because if we're doing tree planting, it's a good thing. The idea itself is good that we plant trees. They go to a very long way to reduce floods, the impact of floods. It helps. But then
It's part of the solution, but
yes,
it's not all of it. So government targets 30 million in trees in 2026 after exceeding 2025 goal. The government has set targets of planting 30 million tree seedlings nationwide under the 2026 edition of the Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative, following the successful planting of more than 31 million trees last year. Oh, okay. So that answers my question. The initiative was officially launched at the West Africa Senior High School in Accra on Friday to coincide with the celebration of World Environment Day. And the event was held under the global... Okay, so addressing the gathering, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Acting Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Mr. Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, said the themes highlight the strong link. I'm looking for what I'm looking for. Climate change is no longer... Okay, let me just go briefly into it. So the Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission said forests remain vital to Ghana's economy. We know that. He disclosed that nearly 31 million seedlings were planted under the 2025-year Tree for Life, while more than 23,600 hectares of degraded land were restored. So Mr. Brown urged Ghanaians to take part in the blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Crosby, we don't know how much
we're going to spend to plant.
We did not state that.
So once again, we're going to plant trees, but the survival data is what that matters.
Yeah.
And we've for long been planting trees, but they help. We're talking about restoring the degraded lands, dealing with floods, with heat, illegal mining, disappearing green surfaces. So it should not be treated as a ceremonial exercise. We're not dismissing it.
Yeah.
It is important because it is green infrastructure. The trees will protect water bodies, they will reduce erosion, cool communities, restore degraded land, support farming, and many more. But then this is not the first time that something like this has happened.
Yeah,
let's go as far back as 2021. There was Green Ghana Day. The target was 5 million trees. And government later said about 7 million seedlings were planted. There was an official account that puts the survival rate at 80%. But later reported assessment said 67%.
So wait, survival rate of the trees?
Of the seedlings, yes.
Seedlings, okay.
Yes. 2022, 20 million trees. The target, 24 million planted. Survival rate, they said, was 72%. 2023, the target was reduced to 10 million trees. About 10.7 million seedlings were planted, 81% survival rate. Then Green Ghana Day 2024, target was 10 million trees. But government said over 42 million trees had been planted since 2021. And the 2024 exercise was expected to push the total to about 52 million. That's when the concern began, whether the country could publicly account for the actual survival of the entire 52 million claim. You say you have planted 52. There's a survival rate conversation, but we want to see as many as we can. There's also one student, one tree, one child, one tree initiative. This is school focused.
That's good.
And then
involving the kids too in the whole conversation.
Exactly.
It's a good one.
There's a Tree for Life initiative 2025, 7 million seedlings. And then Tree for Life Restoration Initiative 2026, target is 30 million seedlings.
So Crosby, did they mention the places where they were planting all of these millions of trees, seedlings?
Oftentimes they let us know where they'll be planted, where they'll be.
So we can always go back to it to see if they are growing or they are...
Well, not necessarily. So what they do is that they leave the seedlings with the district forestry commissions.
True.
And so this data is based on the amount of seedlings we left with the forestry commission.
Not planted.
Expecting that some Ghanaians will go for it. Of course, they do give it to students to plant on that very day.
Okay.
But of course, some of the seedlings will be left for people to come. So you realize that at the launch of these programs, they will admonish the public to go to various forestry commissions, their offices, actually to get their seedlings.
Oh,
so I don't think they really have a proper data as to the number of seedlings, the
and
amount of
even
seedlings that were planted. I think the data is more on how many
seedlings was given to the assemblies for them to plant. But assemblies, if you give it to them, they'll say they have planted the thing. So
I believe they report on those things.
This is what I believe would help, that a certain kind of a dashboard that we have planted assembly B, you gave us 20,000. We've planted all the 20,000 seedlings. This is the dashboard of the tree planting. Year 1, 1,000 Yamutu, 19,000 they are growing.
Yes.
You see it on the dashboard. Year 2, wind has removed
this amount and this is what is left.
So that we can see, we can track and know what to do, what not to do. And that would also give the public some confidence.
Absolutely.
Because Biani here, we're talking about how we do not know whether the 52 million trees are still there or not. If a dashboard like that is available, you just go onto the dashboard. This tree is planted in community A, longitude so and so.
Where we have gotten to is very necessary. We have to do that.
If we don't longitude so and so, latitude so and so, they give you location. You drive, you go there. Yes, you want to know this. You want to see the tree.
Whether it's a mango tree or a pawpaw tree.
They should attach some technology to it so that automatically they should be able to detect the location.
They are the ones planting. So when you plant the seed, you know where you have put it in the ground.
Yes.
You can measure it. Or they throw it somewhere. They don't know where they plant.
So for instance, let me say, I live in Kintampo.
Yes.
I go to the forestry commission and I want some of the seedlings, whether it's a mango, whatever.
Yeah.
I take it. I go to another village. That's where I live because you're supposed to give it to them.
Yes.
Give it to me. Sorry. Once I go and plant it, is the natural expectation or understanding of the forestry commission officers that this number of seedlings have been, given out and we are concluding based on that they have been planted. As to where exactly they were planted, they don't know.
So that's why we're saying that when you come and collect, assembly, you have come to collect the seed. Where are you going to plant it? You tell me. I'm going to plant it in
Aveno.
Aveno where? Aveno School Junction.
Okay.
Yes.
Aveno School Junction. Which area? The third house after the second junction.
After the building that collapsed. Probably wouldn't have collapsed. Anyways, let's go.
So the Forestry Commission knows. Now we'll add it to the dashboard that we expect this tree to be here.
Okay.
So then we can some way, somehow monitor the growth or the development of the tree. So imagine every day you come for a tree, you don't go and plant. And every day you come for the tree, you don't go and plant. How will we know
exactly.
that?
And that's one thing I want to add to it, because I think it's time we rise as leaders, individual leaders, both from the side of institutions and organizations like that of the Forestry Commission, to be accountable for what we are expected to do. Because if I've been given trees, these are like my babies, and you come as a concerned citizen that, you'd want to plant a tree, and I give it to you, and then I just forget about it, thinking or assuming that you are going to plant it. But where you are going to plant it, how you are going to plant it, whether you are going to make sure it's going to grow, you don't care. I think that is a problem. So that means that the millions of cedis the government is investing in getting these over 30, 42 million seedlings are going to waste if you do not know where they are being planted, thinking that citizens will pick it up and then they will plant it at somewhere, and we know it's somewhere within the country, but we cannot trace exactly where. It's a problem.
It's quite worrying. But
yes, we need to.
That's the sad reality anyway.
We need to check it.
I
So
think
then-
you have another story so far.
I mean, the same thing, because when you Prince spoke about the government giving and not necessarily planting, and I was like, then there is a problem with the story here, because it's saying that the government has set a target of planting 30 million.
Yes. So government planting is not necessarily government.
So giving, it should be
employing-
giving.
Well, I get where you're coming
So
from.
that we know, because honestly, if you had not said that, I wouldn't have known that this
That's
is.
what actually happens. So if
And
you
I'm
had
sure I'm not the
followed,
only one.
I mean, the program played some were Friday.
And it's actually because you follow.
Did you plant some?
I didn't
I'm
go
sure-
for any of the cities.
Oh, I thought Prince would do.
If you
Prince.
planted some, I will ask you where you planted. We'll go and see whether it's still there.
Right. I expected that. But if you had followed all the
Yeah.
ceremonies,
Right.
realize that immediately after the program, they will admonish the public, go to your district forestry commission offices to get your seedlings. That's in place.
Then that's all.
Yes. We don't really have a committee or a task force, or we don't recruit some young people to go and then plant those seedlings. No. We just admonish the various communities or districts to go for those seedlings and go and plant it in those.
I think there should be a conscious effort with where we are
Yes.
going
That's
as
true.
a city and a country. Yeah.
The New Finder newspaper this morning, it says that diaspora investment critical to success of 24-hour economy. Also, delay in gold fields lease renewal could hurt FDI inflows. FDI will mean foreign direct investment. Ghana launches AgriConnect Compact to create 2.6 million jobs. That story is on page 9 of the paper. And nurses join CAF strike on page 5 of the New Finder newspaper. Violations of construction standards driving building collapse in Accra. That is on page 2 of the paper. And I would want to read to you what the paper, that's on page 4. And I want to read to you what the paper is saying, that violations of construction standards driving building collapse in Accra. There's a story. A road and building consultant, engineer Abdullah Mahama, has attributed the recent spate of building collapses in Accra to widespread violations of approved construction standards, warning that shortcuts taken during construction continue to undermine structural safety. His comments come in the wake of the collapse of a 3-story building at Aveno in North Kaneshie, where rescue operations remain ongoing. We understand that 2 people have been are feared dead. And speaking on the growing concerns over building safety in the capital, Engineer Mahama said the incidents are not isolated occurrences, but rather the result of long-standing challenges within the construction sector. I don't know whether you have anything to...
Yeah, the custodian.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before that, let's talk about the building collapse. It's interesting that, talking about the poor quality materials, amongst others, these are interesting factors.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a lady we spoke to when we visited the place was talking to us about how some people would want to maximize
Profits by using a certain kind of cement, which is supposed to be
some
for
low
plastering.
quality things
Yeah.
for some
So
things.
we started 45.
Yes.
And then we all of that.
It's also very concerning.
You see,
actually,
it's not helping us.
because you, the normal citizen, ordinarily may not know what should really go into building or constructing any edifice, and so you're counting on the experts who are to. That's why you give them the project to do. And at the end of the day, you are paying huge amounts and they want to maximize profits by buying low quality, which you may not even know. I think it's really concerning. It must be checked. It must be checked.
Well, I think in this country, we are all in hurry to build.
Yeah,
What
we
goes
want to
to
own
the
property.
building, we are all concerned about
If
it.
you get the land and you don't build, two minutes later,
I-
the land
for
is with
someone
somebody.
else.
I tell
When it
you.
comes to the building matter, I don't think it borders on whether the line will be taken away or not. It's a matter of trying to reduce the cost. Because I don't know why you want to go and buy cement. And so mostly, it's not even the owners. It's those guys, mason or whatever.
Yes.
I
They
see those
also want
guys.
to find a way. So you give them money for $35. They also go and do $30 and pocket the $5.
Right.
I mean, I'm into those
That is-
things, so
that is
I
sad.
know what goes
Oh,
on.
You're into the
okay.
pocketing
Yes.
of the bank.
No,
Okay. Let's speak with
Not forgetting.
Okay.
I mean, when you give out monies and then you go and realize that sometimes you go there unannounced and realize that the amount of, the number of cement buy they should buy, they buy less than that.
Meanwhile, they will take the money from you.
Yes. And they end up putting up a building.
Let's have a conversation on the back of this and speak with a local government expert. Mr. Amonkote, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. In the past few days, Ghana has been hit by another painful reminder of weak urban control. Adenta collapse to the Aveno building collapse. In the Aveno case, the Interior Minister has directed, and he has directly called on the MMDAs to tighten enforcement of building regulations, saying that assemblies are responsible for issuing permits and monitoring construction projects. Authorities have confirmed deaths, injuries, and investigations are still ongoing. My question to you is that when a building collapses in a city like Accra, from a local government point of view, where should the first question of responsibility go? The owner, the contractor, the engineer, or the assembly?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
First, it is the contractor or the construction agent supervising or building the structure. Then secondly, we move to the assembly. The assembly, because one is supposed to receive the building drawings, the drawings of the buildings, and then have a discussion with the architect who drew it. So we all agree or disagree on issues surrounding the drawings. So after that, before you even start digging, the building inspector must be around to determine or approve whatever you're going to do. Most people, because of payment, they will draw a one-story, but end up putting up a four-story building just to outwit the authorities. So you agree that before you start building, you dig the first trench and must be around to see whatever is going on. And we build by phases. So when you finish with the foundation and then you start moving up, then the inspector, that is his job. He's a building inspector. So he must come around and see what is happening at every stage. But I overheard you talking about the type of cement and all that. Then we have to extend the problem to Ghana Standard Authority. To Ghana Standard Authority, all the block manufacturers, what certificate, what license are they using to operate? Because Ghana Standard is supposed to be the standard authority in the country. So if there is someone molding blocks, and which standard is the person using to do his work? Who is regulating that block making company? Then you know that what we have been doing is what somebody would say, Nyame Boa management.
I see.
So if Nyame does not come in, then everybody is worried. Because Ghana Standard must have, I have been shouting over this from, I don't know when. Because if you have Ghana Standard Authority, and they are not at the district level, because every issue is at the district level. So who is, I don't know why people are working at the authority and they are being paid. Because what are you doing there? All the mistakes are down there. If you want to create standard for all activities at the district, who is to supervise that? we are now getting to 70 years. We don't use scales, weighing scales in our market. So what standard are they using to sell? You go and say, oh, look, American thing, gallon, some, makeshift means of selling. So how do you compare 2 kilograms of tomatoes in the whole West Africa? How do you compare it when you have a gallon or some basket to do your measurement? What standard is that?
But Mr. Kote, if we're still sticking with the issues of the building collapse, yes, you raise an important point that you think the Standards Authority should be decentralized because everything is happening at the district. But is that not why the assemblies come in to
No, the
monitor?
assemblies are limited. They don't have any standard officers there. Standard people trained with standardization at the assembly. In fact, our local government system, so far as I am concerned, it is loaded with, political and legal settings. And then sitting on top is administration. In the local government business, we are to deliver service. And service delivery is utmost when it comes to local government. So if you have a system where, we have gaps in it, for instance, works engineers, what are they doing? What are their functions? Then you come to the physical planning, the building inspectors. The assembly concept is too weak for my liking. People are polluting air. Nobody is talking about it. People are polluting. We have what we call the odor pollution. Who controls it? Noise pollution. Who controls it? So when it comes to building inspection and you have some, makeshift arrangement for building inspectors to move around, some don't even have vehicles to move around. So I don't know how you want him to go and inspect a building somewhere if you have a municipality of, let's say, 300,000 people in the municipality. How is the building inspector going to go around and then supervise what is going on?
So the issue
when he
is...
has no mobile motor, he has no motorcycle, he has no vehicle. How is he going around?
So
Meanwhile, the person himself is also corrupt in a way.
I see. It means we're talking about how under-resourced the assemblies are.
I'm not sure it's about resource. It's about the structure. Who supervises all these people? The head of department. We have a very weak structure. As far as I'm concerned, some of these things will happen when because of the structure that we have. I mean, health inspectors, some environmental officers are in charge of waste management. The whole thing looks weird so far as I'm concerned. Yes, on paper you see all these things, but in practice, everything is weak.
I see. Buildings, Mr. Kote, buildings do not rise in one night. So you see the foundation, you see the pillars, the blocks, the floors. So how does an illegal or dangerous structure grow under the eye of the assembly?
Okay, so if you look at the structure and you study our local government, the unit committees are supposed to be the fundamental or the basis of our structure. And that unit committee level is supposed to be a delegated function. So the head office must delegate functions to the unit committees. You see, when you want to blame the technical people, I don't see that, because they are supposed to work from Monday to Friday. And these developers, they start working sometimes Friday evening. And Friday evening, he gets about 2,000 concrete blocks at the site. And then Saturday morning, get about 10 masons. Basically, the assemblies should register all artisans within their jurisdiction so that you can deal with them when some of these things come up. Well, you don't go and start building when the person has not shown you a permit. But because everybody is doing whatever he or she likes, there's no registration. You don't have data on artisans working. Everybody gets up and he comes to work at dawn Saturday because it's a simple order. No artisan should work during the weekends. Finish. So you will come and work during the weekdays. If inspectors are supposed to inspect or go to work during the weekdays. But if you allow people to work during the holidays and weekends and nobody supervises them, you know, they will, by the time you say Jack, you say buildings are not cannot come up in a day. Some buildings can come up in a day.
Mr. Kote, some buildings come up in a day. I see. You said no artisans should work during the weekend. But if they're working during the weekend, the weekday will come, and the assembly officers will go to work, and they will see the buildings.
Yeah, the weekday when it comes, because the inspector is corrupt, where he knows that the people have built during the weekend, he won't pass there. He will go and pass through another electoral area. And the time he will come back to where the building is almost up and they are roofing. So who do you blame? Meanwhile, the unit committee members who are with the people in the community, they have also seen it, or they also see the building coming up. But because you have not delegated any function to them, everybody is watching. And at the end, when it collapses or it blocks the waterway, then we start complaining. That's what I'm saying, that we have a very weak local government structure. I mean, so far as I'm concerned, let's be real. Things are not working accordingly, you know, according to any standard.
Let's talk about this. If we're talking about issuing a stop work notice, one of the things that the assembly does to control these things, should there be arrest, prosecution, or sealing of the site when these notices are not adhered to? And sometimes we, the builders, will decide to put the stop work notice on the building ourselves.
So that is an ineffective way of planning. You know, you get the oxide paint and then you write whatever you want to write. It can be the developer himself who might have written it, or the inspector. You know, and you know, I just don't. The system is porous. It cannot hold.
So the assemblies are powerful on paper, but in reality, they are very weak on the ground.
Very weak. The structure itself is weak. It is not about the human beings. It is the structure, the system that we are. You see, when it people every day people are like, oh, they take permits and allow people to, they issue permits and get me 2 developers who are built on a waterway that can produce a working permit. Assemblies will not do that because it is not one individual who issues permit. It's a whole planning authority with the coordinating director as the head. So before they approve a permit for someone, it cannot never be on a waterway. No, they want to do that. But the other stuff where the inspectors and, you know, they every year they create some task force. So people are also smart. They look when there's a change of government in between the transitional period, a lot of things happen, you know. That shows you how weak our system is. Now the building is up. We don't know whether whatever the architect has designed is what they have put up there, you know. So when it is going, maybe they've hit about the second floor story, the third story, and they realize that meanwhile, while the building is going on, the contractor is also corrupt, and his masons are also corrupt. So when they are supposed to do their mixing of concrete and whatever, at night, then you see the builders carrying cement away, especially when it is government projects. Then people are stealing the cement and all that.
Right, Mr. Kote. So let's understand this here from your knowledge of the work of the local assembly. Before an assembly gives a permit, what should it check? The land documents?
Well, you present your design, and then they will have to visit the site. The report from the building inspector to determine where the land is, the property is. So they have a scheme. When they will put your drawings on the scheme. If it is where it is placed wrongly on the scheme, they will tell you that, hey, Papa, you cannot go ahead with the building. You see, sometimes when we blame the developers or, yes, the building owners, if you buy land from me, I don't know, maybe sometimes you want to use it to plant rice. How would I know? And we have, the assembly also has a means of rezoning or trying to fix refix the scheme by doing rezoning. So an area where we say this is a swampy area, don't build there. By the time you say Jack, it has turned into some residential area.
Okay, so these documents should be presented to the assembly. The assembly will fine-tune it, correct errors here and there. So if the building is being put up and then the building is veering off the agreed structure or what the assembly has approved, the assembly has the right to pull it down?
Yes, of course. But even in demolition, you need to have a sitting, a committee to consider all factors before we go ahead. So sometimes we are human beings, and people are corrupt to the extent that they will want to close their eyes and then allow the thing to come up. And when it gets up, it becomes a huge legal tussle. You don't have a permit, but you want to go to court and stop the assembly from demolishing your property. And I don't want to say further about corruption. People can have their way and stop the whole assembly from effecting demolition. So by the time you say Jack, they are sleeping in the building. And even when you complete your building, the assembly must issue what we call suitability report.
Right. Thank you.
So, it's a whole complete corrupt society where we are the developer, the landowner, the assembly, everybody is corrupt in this exercise.
Mr. Kote, thank you so much. Thank you.
The citizenry, myself and yourself, we also see it and we keep quiet.
True. Thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Mr. Amon Kote is a local government expert speaking to us there.
Looking over the skyline of the city.
3FM Sunrise.
Loud, quiet,
Listened in on the conversation with Mr. Amon Kote.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And I'll just pick it from the ending.
Yeah.
Even though I have some holes to punch and all of that. With the citizenry, how would I know if this building being constructed has received a permit or not? That's my first question.
He says we see it and we keep quiet.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, maybe a bit of clarity there would be necessary, because I know that we, the citizens, may not be privy to such an information. Knowing that, this is a site where somebody has started constructing or building, you may not know, and you going there to ask questions may look like you are intruding, because this is someone's business, so you wouldn't have that capacity to do that. And secondly, the Ghana Standards Authority coming in there, because I think the issue is not substandardness of the product being used, but
sometimes it comes up.
Well, it does, but where this for this particular conversation, and with the eyewitness who was talking about the 42. Prince can help me with the 42 and then the 32. So I'm told that the 32 is used for plastering, and then the 42 for the blocks, the concrete works and all. So here they use the 32 rather
to do the
for
blocks.
the concrete, yes, and then the 42 probably they'll just pocket the money, because that would definitely be expensive. So that is where I was also a bit confused at, does Ghana Standard Authority comes there, because they would not be the ones to go into the go to where the site is or where the project is happening to see if you are using the 32 or the 42 for the appropriate work being done. So I mean, these things were going through my mind when he was talking, but generally I think the corrupt aspect, you cannot take it away. It is very sad that we always have to go back to a conversation of people being corrupt when doing something. And it's like we almost always seem to blame the government, blame the leaders, but I think we also have to take responsibility in that small space that you are working. Are you working with that integrity? You are quick to judge and quick to talk about a government or someone in high place being corrupt, but are you not also corrupt with what you are doing, pocketing that money when you could have used it to buy something that is standard for the work?
Prince?
Yeah, so I share in similar opinion when our experts attempted to bring in Ghana Standard Authority. I don't think they should come in here, because Ghana Standard Authority is to just ensure that all building materials in this country are safe. So just to regulate, test, ensure quality of all building materials. So if I make sure that 32.5R is out to the standard we want as a country to do the work 32.5R cement should do, that's my job to do. I'm not the one to go on site to check whether they are using it for the right work or not. It's the work of the assemblies, the works department, I think town and country planning inspector. They should go around. They actually are mandated to go around to do the state-by-state inspection to see whether you are deviating from the building permit or not. So you realize that our expert mentioned something about building permit. It's actually a plan. So you can't come and say that I want to build a 2-story building, let us start building 4. Now you are deviating. You may not have breached any quality rules or whatever, but you are still deviating, which you can even suffer criminal prosecution for that. So who are those mandated, responsible for doing the state-by-state inspection, that they are unable to tell whether the materials being used are up to the standard or not? Because you cannot build a house within 2 days. You can't. No matter how fast you want it. Not even Chinese can do that. And so the weekends conversation are not coming at all, because I don't think a contractor can start a building foundation Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, you are done. That's serious. It cannot happen.
I think after he mentioned that sometimes the assemblymen choose not to go to where the project is happening.
But the assembly go and collect property rates.
No, it's clearly impossible. So once someone has come for a permit, the permit includes the fact that you must give us the location of the building.
Right.
You must come around from time to time to check whether you are actually adhering to the building plan or not. If you are deviating from it, I mean, the assembly has the right of demolishing if they need be, or prosecuting you, right? But in this very case, once we issue the permit, we leave it to your own fate and your own discretion. However you want to build your house, it's up to you. So we don't really go and check whether they're actually adhering to the permit or not. That has been the challenge so far. And I strongly believe that most people that build on water we don't have permits. I realized that when you were doing your reports from the Ramsar site, when you ask most of the owners to produce building permits, they are unable to produce. They don't have. That's the truth. They don't. So why you do go and build without the permits? And you start crying that government is being insensitive. That's why I said that we are very emotional people. We go and do the wrong things, and when the laws are being enforced, they start crying. Until the flag takes us away. We come back to the drawing board again, say, oh, please, you must enforce the laws. But when you enforce the laws, these same people will complain. When you go and sack the people at circle, they will tell you that you're for. And we start crying. And somebody will say that MP are Jessica. But as we are speaking to the President Mohammed has not flooded. Neither is Dr. Baume's house flooded. It's your house. Maybe you are around Abokobi or whatever. Those in F4 hills, I think the last time they also suffered something like that.
But hills have started flooding because East Legon Hills was part of the places that flooded, I think, in some few years. And
the way we are going, we are not careful.
So we will all like
staying on the mountain, but now flooded. But he raised an important point that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
How on paper the assembly is good, but in reality it is nyama. And he's not only talking about resources. The structure itself says it does not work.
It's true.
We've
Actually,
lived with this for more than 30 years.
I don't think there's any effort to change it.
This country,
it is well.
It will take a lot. It will take a lot.
The skyline of the city.
Yo, you dress so. Where they going?
I be, I follow you.
No, I beg.
You see the way you wear the tie plus the.
What is in sports?
Right now you change your mind.
Charlie, what do you have for us?
Charlie, so we are just 3 days left to the start of the World
Of
Cup.
the Mundial.
Of the Mundial. The Black Stars too, we don't know which friendly they are going to play before the World Cup starts. Right now we are confused. First we had Honduras. Now they are hearing Honduras is pulling out.
How about Jamaica? We had Jamaica something too.
We had that one too. But we don't know whether that one is happening or not.
Hey, Carlos Queiroz.
Yes.
We'll see. Bring us sports, Bill.
Happy beers.
3FM Sunrise.
.7. My name is Bill Ishen. We're still building up to the 2026 World Cup. 3 days left till the start of the Mundial. Now we begin with the Black Stars, where new goalkeeper Paul Robertson opened up on his relationship with his teammates after earning his debut call-up in the senior national team setup. Robertson was left out of Ghana's final World Cup squad, was with the team in Wales for Ghana's pre-World Cup friendly, and he shared his experience with 3 Sports during his appearance on Warm Up Plus on Saturday.
I couldn't wait to see anyone because I was really excited. I wanted to see anyone to greet them, have a chat with them. But the one I talked the most with, it was Fatau.
Okay.
He took me in because he know an agent of mine, so that was the link we got. Caleb, the one who scored the goal. Those two are always together, so yeah. Both of them, and Prince as well. So most of the young guys I bond good with.
That was Paul Reverson speaking there. Now, Black Stars captain Jordan Ayew has made it clear that he's not bothered by constant comparisons to his famous footballing family, insisting that his only goal is to be the best version of himself. Now, speaking ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, a 34-year-old forward addressed the inevitable comparisons to his father, the legendary Abedi Pele, his brother Andre Ayew, and his uncle Kwame Ayew, all of whom have captained or starred for Ghana.
First of all, I don't compare myself to my dad, and I've never said that I want to be like Andre, or I want to be like my dad, or I want to be like Uncle Kwame, or I've never put in my, I've always want to do my own life and my own career, and try to be the best version of myself and to do the best for me and to try and make my family proud. I can't be like my father, I can't be like Andre, but the only thing I can do is to be a good version of myself.
That was Jordan Ayew speaking there. In view of Ghana's preparations for the tournament, forward Brandon Thomas Asante says he remains hopeful of the team putting up a strong showing on the world stage. The Coventry City forward will be making his first World Cup appearance in North America, and he will be hoping to replicate his fine form from the club at the Mundial.
Continue to write the story. Of course, we know that we've had moments that have, the world has been behind us at times, seeing, the tough things that we've been through as a team, and we feel like there's a story to complete, and we want to, as players, step forward and to, right the wrongs, if I can say that, but definitely push it past the levels that have been done before. And we're lucky that we've got the support of the previous generations, and the likes of Michael Essien was here in camp, and Asamoah Gyan, John Painstill. So we've got that support from the people who were there, and that means a lot to us as players. So the more of that, the better. I mean, it's something I've been praying for from a young child, and to have this opportunity is incredible, and I'm so grateful, and all of us are. And part of that gratitude is shown by performing on the pitch, working, preparing, and giving our best. But I think, even though it was a game today where we dust off cobwebs, we come together. Some of us haven't played in a few weeks, some have been tired from the whole season. But you can see that we play with intent and with purpose, and we're going to build from.
That was Brandon Thomas Asante speaking there. Now, moving on, the Ghana Football Association President Gerto Kraku has insisted that it would be a mistake to dismiss Ghana's chances at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. According to him, the Black Stars have the quality to compete with any team in the tournament. Now, speaking on Delay's show, Okraku emphasized that football history is full of surprises where underdogs have gone on to achieve remarkable success, while favorites have sometimes fallen short.
Will be represented by our best players available at the time. Ghana will be very competitive. The target is that we are going to war, in quotes, and when you're going to war, you don't plan to lose any battle. You want to win. That is the vision. I'm extremely confident that we are going to war and we'll win the war.
That was Gerto Kraku, the president of the Ghana Football Association. Now, still on the World Cup, Vice Chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, Stephen Appiah, has called on Ghana's national team players to rise to the occasion and make the country proud at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The four-time African champions will feature in the global showpiece in United States, Canada, and Mexico, where they have been drawn in Group L alongside England, Croatia, and then Panama.
No, I will tell them that it's their time, and that's the right moment. The moment has come. They should take it. They shouldn't play with it, because we have seen players who play with it and now they are paying for whatever that happens. And this particular time, I think, with social, because 2006 there was no social media. So with social media, you have to take advantage of any chance that you get. I mean, that's what I'm going to tell them. At first, they have to know that they are playing for African continent. So wearing that shirt, they should know how important is the shirt, and they should fight for everything to achieve something.
That was Stephen Appiah speaking there. Elsewhere, head coach of Uganda's national men's under-17 football team, Lai Kingston, says he was just doing his job when he led the Eastern African nation the 2026 FIFA Under-17 World Cup at the expense of his home nation, Ghana. Now, Uganda beats Ghana in the penalty shootout after drawing 2-2 after regulation time in the playoff tie at the Under-17 AFCON for a spot in this year's World Cup. Speaking to 3 Sports about the experience, Kingston explained and he found himself torn between professional duty and national emotion.
I was just doing my job. You know, for me, I would not wish anybody to be in that position that I was on that day. It was me standing between my job and my country as well. So it was a very hard moment for me. But at the end of the day, this is where my paychecks come from.
Moving on, Italian club Como has arrived in Ghana for a week-long football development project aimed at strengthening relationships with the country's football community. A delegation from the Serie A side is expected to engage in a series of activities during their stay, including interaction with local football stakeholders, coaching programs, and then talent identification exercises. Let's hear from some of the organizers behind the Como Football Club's Ghana expedition, particularly on the purpose of the trip.
So what happens here is that Sport Creates Memories has partnered up with Como Football Club to make a difference in Ghana. And it's very important because we want to create a better infrastructure of grassroots football and make a difference for as many kids in Ghana as possible through sport and football.
I am the tour leader of this amazing trip. It's the second year for me and the first year for all the guys. So we came back here because last year was fantastic. It was an amazing experience for the guys to play with kids and to have the chance for them to teach the kids how to play football. And thank you for this welcoming because it's so warm.
We are supporting Sports Create Memory to make this a memorable one for the kids. We are bringing these kids here and the team from Como to be able to let them know that there's possibility that every kid can have the opportunity to play football.
Right, to the French Open final now, where Alexander Zverev finally landed a Grand Slam title that threatened to elude him after overcoming Flavio Cobolli and his own nerves to win in 5 sets. The 29-year-old German secured his first long-awaited major triumph with victory over 10-seed Cobolli in Paris. Zverev made slightly fewer errors to move a double break ahead and dragged himself over the line as the 24-year-old Cobolli ran out of steam. Now, before we go, let's do some athletics, where world record holder Mundo Duplantis suffered his first defeat in nearly 3 years as Australia's Curtis Marshall claimed a surprise victory at Stockholm Diamond League on Sunday. Duplantis cleared only 5.80 meters before falling twice at 6.00 meters and once at 6.05 meters, and Marshall seized the opportunity, clearing 5.90 meters to secure one of the biggest wins of his career and hand the Swedish star a rare defeat. That's it for sports here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Bill Lishan. We'll see you same time tomorrow with more updates as we build up to the 2026 World Cup.
The legendary Ghanaian musician, songwriter, and saxophonist, affectionately celebrated as the Sigma Du Man. He hails from Takoradi in the Western region, secondly Takoradi in the Western region, blending traditional high life with funk, jazz, spoken word rhythms. He calls this one Africa Yay. What is happening? By Jedu Blayambole. So this morning, attention to all parents of first-year SHS boarding students. What is happening? What is going on? AGPAC, the Ghana Education Service, approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana is now in progress across the country, and parents across the country are already registering so that their children's trunk, Macintosh mattress and pillow, and plastic chop box will be ready and waiting. Will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. So do not delay and be caught in the usual last-minute market rush, carrying heavy items under pressure. With EduPack, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 items. What is going on? What is happening? All you need to do is to register, and to register, simply dial *713 *821 hash. Visit any ADB branch or go to www.eduparkgh.com. Make payment, keep your receipts, and present it on opening day. Do that to collect all your child's EduPack items. Your EduPack registration follows you to any SHS you're placed. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush, prepare with confidence. All at a very affordable price. EduPack approved and supported by GES. For more information, call 050-700-752 or 050-864-4802. Alternatively, 0302-955-050. EduPack, no stress, no wahala. Latex foam rubber products. I'm sure you know that these days some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials. They are not fit for sleeping surfaces, and these mattresses may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. They don't meet Ghana safety standards and will end up costing you more. Buying inferior and cheap mattresses may seem like a good way to save money, but do not fall for the trap. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work and you cannot think well. And you are ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cost you a lifetime of discomfort and chronic pain. So as a responsible citizen, you should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. That is why we must all raise awareness to protect families across the country. Latex foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Make the smart choice. Talk to them. 0302-231-155. That is if you are in Accra. If you are in Kumasi, you can talk to them on 03-220-29365. Call them for your inquiries. You can also just walk into any of the outlets nationwide for your preferred choices, or visit them at www.latexfilmghana.com. And all their social media platforms are also available. Do not settle for less. Go for quality. Buy Latex Film, or else you do yourself. Latex Film, your partner for life.
FM Sunrise.
Let me talk to you about the Snitz luxury apartments now on sale. If you're looking to own a premium home in a prime location in Accra, then Snitz invites you to explore its luxury apartments and townhouses, featuring spacious 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units across selected communities in Accra. You get to choose from Adinkra Heights in Cantonments, Eagles Place in Sakumono, and Meridian Gardens in Klagon for your next home. Experience, comfort, style, and value backed by trusted institution. Units are now selling. All you have to do is to call this number 0244 593 276 0244 593 276 or visit SNIT sales office at the 6th floor, Rich Tower, Accra for further inquiries. Time check is some 19 minutes after 8. This is the Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. And this morning, we're taking you to Kumasi, to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, one of Ghana's biggest referral centers. The hospital has been in the news lately because its accident and emergency center reportedly became heavily congested, forcing management to temporarily suspend or redirect new emergency admissions. The health ministry says emergency cases must not be turned away, and on paper that sounds right. Nobody rushing a sick mother, a dying relative, or an injured child to a hospital wants to hear that there is no space. But the doctors are also asking a difficult question. If the emergency ward is full, if there are no beds, if patients are already dying in corridors, what should the hospital do? Keep accepting more patients even when they cannot safely care for them? And that is where the matter gets complicated. The suspension of the CEO of the hospital, it has now triggered anger from doctors, with nurses also raising concerns. But beyond the labor action, the bigger issue is this. Komfanochi Hospital may be exposing a deeper weakness in Ghana's emergency healthcare system. One major referral hospital is overwhelmed. It means the pressure is not only at Cath. It may also mean district hospitals, regional hospitals, ambulance systems, and a lot more. The Northern Bureau Chief and is following the story keenly. Evans, good morning to you.
Good morning, Crosby.
Bring us up to speed. Where have we traveled from up until now?
Well, so on Saturday, Komfanochi, prior to Saturday, the Komfanochi Doctors Association, they have released a statement stating that they were going to embark on industrial action because of a letter that was written to the board of directors to suspend the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital CEO. Of course, the reason for all these development is something that is not new to all of us who have been following this particular development. So on Saturday, the strike was in full swing. I visited the Accident and Emergency Center, which has become the epicenter as far as this Buhaha is concerned. Of course, other departments of Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, where ordinarily, you see some level of activities as far as the medical doctor's operation in that particular facility is concerned. And I reported that on Saturday, they were only taking critical cases and critical emergency cases. Any other emergency cases were not accepted at the Accident Emergency Center, for instance. And of course, for the other OPDs, there was a total withdrawal of service. So that is what has been happening since Saturday. Yesterday, the regional minister, who is also the head of the Regional Security Council, met the leadership of Komfanochi Doctors Association in a crunch meeting at the Accident Emergency Center. It was a closed-door meeting, but right after that meeting, he engaged a section of the media and briefed the media about what transpired there. Of course, he said that they were able to advance on positive levels, and hopefully today the leadership of Komfanochi Teaching Hospital Doctor Association is expected to come out and then issue another statement calling off the industrial action, and exactly what we are all looking forward to. But this morning, as of 6 a.m., I can report to you that there hasn't been any change so far. I've spoken to a couple of doctors on phone, even though they will neither say they are going to continue the strike, nor they are going to write any letter or support leadership in writing a letter to calling off the industrial action. So we are still waiting. It looks like the ball is in the court of the leadership of the Confanoche Doctors Association, who were involved in that crunch meeting with the regional minister. So we are still hoping the day is still young. Maybe by 12, we should be able to see where they are chatting as far as pass is concerned. Crosby.
At what point do the nurses come in?
Well, the nurses, even though they served notice of joining the strike, but I can tell you that as of this morning, or as of 6 a.m., they were still at post working, especially at the triage, the pre-triage area and the triage area, where, which is the first port of call for any emergency case brought to the accident emergency center. The triage nurses were there. Couple of them, even though usually you're supposed to see a good number of them, but just a handful of them, but they were still around, an indication that they haven't joined the industrial action yet.
That's good to know. But talk to us about the impact of what is going on at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital, for instance. We know that it's a referral hospital serving close to 9 regions in the country. How important is the facility, specifically the accident and emergency unit?
Well, maybe you have been magnanimous. The reality is that it's 7/9 because in the northern sector we are talking about 10 regions, including Ashanti region. And Confanoche Teaching Hospital has been the main referral center for these regions. I mean, if you go to the facility, you're likely to meet patients coming from the Upper West down to the Ashanti region. So it tells you how important this facility is to millions of people living within the northern sector belt. Now, it is very crucial, a critical time as far as the facility is concerned. And then looking at the numbers, of course, it is not far from right. Public sentiment, section of the public sentiment to the fact that the Afari Military Hospital and that of Syria Regional Hospital should work on these facilities should be accelerated so that they can also come into the mainstream to ease pressure at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. But it looks like there's some hint of hope. Considering what the regional minister said, that is retooling the Syria Regional Hospital, which funnily some time ago was commissioned, but you all know that it wasn't ready. Retooling that particular hospital and also making it available to serve, the public. And of course, he also said that plans are far advanced, or measures are far advanced to also commissioning the Afari Military Hospital. You will say that there's some level of oxygen as far as the current situation is concerned. So we are just hoping, and of course, a good number of people in the Ashanti region are only hoping to see these hospitals also come into the mainstream to also support Confanoche Teaching Hospital. And of course, if you look at the doctor's statement 1, statement 2, they mentioned as one of the reasons why they were embarking on the industrial action.
I see. Evans, thank you so much for the update. We're grateful.
Grateful.
William Evans Inkum is a Northern Bureau Chief telling us all we need to know about the latest happening at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital in the Ashanti region there. George Ayisi is former head of communications at NADMO and currently an MPP communications team member. So Ayisi, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good morning, Noble.
I haven't spoken with you in a very, very long time.
Yes, I talk for my one corner.
How's it been, though? How's everything?
By grace, we're doing well. We're kicking in, and We are doing our opposition work.
And that's what we expect of you.
Yeah, citizens, good citizens in opposition. We need to keep government on its toes.
Yes, true. I'm sure you've been following on the happenings at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. We know how important the facility is. And like Evans put, very crucial. A lot of regions, over 9 regions, rely heavily on the hospital, and a unit like the accident and emergency care unit of the hospital, something like this is happening. Is it a question of patient safety or political power? What do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Let me say good morning to your listeners and viewers since we are on the internet, and let me greet you and your production crew. Well, we can focus more on the unfortunate political gymnastics that is being played along by our good brother, Minister of Health, Kobna Akando. It's unfortunate. He's one nice man, I know, and unfortunately he's been too abrasive as a minister, and the way he's handling things at the health sector doesn't seem to be too comforting to some of us. Issues of beds, and I've been to the Konfanochi Hospital under an emergency situation during the campaign, our primaries. When we got to Kumasi, I had some serious infections, and immediately I had to be referred there.
Okay.
So when I got there, they attended to me very well. I appreciate them. But I saw things there that I wasn't happy about as a politician. Some motor accident victims, somebody butchered and all lying there over 30 minutes. Lying there, nobody's attended to the person. I said, what is going on? Emergency unit in the night. You get it? So it tells you the critical nature of that facility in that sector. So when I got this issue of saying because the chief administrator of the hospital says bed issues, so we should hold on with more admissions and and because of that there's a standing order that the president has said that should, yes, the president's calling is good, but there are people who have been tasked to manage the facility. You get it? How can they manage it for the betterment of patients and the community and the people at large? You get it? Because you are in charge. You are sitting behind the microphone here. You get it? So you are tasked by your administrator to raise the right questions and then put us in check to be within what is right. You get it? That is your duty. So that's the duty of the chief executive, to ensure that we run the facility efficiently for the betterment of patients, okay? Unfortunately, bed syndrome and we have made the argument, minorities made the argument, Noble, that there are other hospitals that are closer to the Asante Konfanochi Teaching Hospital that we mentioned, Kokobe Hospital, Agenda 111, almost complete. You need just to operationalize it in a curriculum. And of course, we have the Trader one, which is also Agenda 111, just needs to be operationalized. And of course, the regional one, the Siwa, your reporter mentioned it, and the Ferry one. These ones are all on standby, just operationalize them. You get it? Action, they can take off some of the pressure from the Konfanochi. You get it? People want to be in Konfanochi for whatever reason, yes. But once these ones are operating, when you refer them there, they will go there. Because of the situation I told you, emergency, people were lying there, blood oozing, and nobody is attending to them for more than 30 minutes. I'm not making it up. I was there in the hospital, okay, in the night. So in situations like this, when people begin to play political something, then there's a problem. I thought our brother Akando should look at it well. As we speak, I stand to be corrected, a section of practitioners are on strike, right?
Yes.
That's according to the report.
Yeah.
Yes, so the doctors, I understand. If that is the case, it's going to even worsen the case. You get it? In the place, and we all don't want this. People may be referred from Bolgatanga, from Tamale, and go to Konfanochi. You get it? And they get there and doctors are not working. You can imagine the situation for patients. I think it's time His Excellency the President weighs into this matter.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You know, it's his directive, okay, that has created this problem. I think immediately we should suspend the suspension of the CEO. The CEO. We should suspend that suspension. Call him back, get the doctors to a meeting to resolve this matter and see how we can work on no bed syndrome. It's a critical issue.
So you think it's a broader concern, not just limiting it to the Konfo Teaching Hospital?
Suspending the CEO, no.
Does not solve anything.
Has it brought additional beds to Konfo?
No, it has not.
It has not. It has not. Allow him to do his work and find ways to resolve the matter. You get it? So that efficiency will be brought to bear at the management level at the hospital. You get it? So the patients referred there will get what they want. It's painful when you are referred to, you go to a hospital and you're sitting there and they're not attending to you and the situation is getting worse. Okay? So I'll plead with my brother, the Honorable Akando. He's one fine guy I love. But I think his management style at the hospital, health sector, is not gelling well with me.
With this, are you limiting it to the recent happening at the Konfo or
the Tamale issue?
So in general,
I see. He's been too abrasive. You get it? And I don't think it's good for the management of that sector. He's a calm person with calm demeanor, very nice person, affable person. You get it? But he's been too aggressive and, you know, taking I'm not taking any nonsense in the health sector. It doesn't work that way. Doctors are a group of people that if you don't handle them well, with care, there will be problems on our hands. When there's a problem, when all of us are going to bear the brunt. So I'm pleading with His Excellency to call Honorable Akando, the Minister of Health, and his team together and sit down with the Doctors Association and resolve this matter, especially at Konfo Anokye, and then other hospitals across the country, because we had a situation in Tamale Teaching Hospital. There's another one. Is it where there was a third one?
Something happened at Ridge too as well.
Yes, good. Just close to us, Ridge Hospital. So these ones, and his responses were not too good.
Okay.
Akando's responses were not. So President, Your Excellency, call your darling boy to order and let's resolve these once and for all going forward, so that by close of today we can all hear that Konfo Anokye issue has been resolved. The minority is calling on government to do that immediately because it's not resolved. Suspending them hasn't brought additional bed there. You get it? Operationalize the adjoining hospitals that we've mentioned.
That is what that matters.
So the Kokobe, Sewa, Aferi. Get them operationalized. Then they will take off some of the bedding from Konfo Anokye, and then we make progress in the region.
Zaisi, thank you. Sam Jerome, good morning to you. Sam Jerome is Director of Public Affairs, Cocoa Board, and National Communications Officer of Cocoa Board. It's good to see you, sir. Welcome.
National Communication Officer of Cocoa Board.
That's what we have.
Yeah, National Communication Team Member.
National Communication Team Member of the NDC. Good to have you, Sam. Welcome.
Thank you.
How's your morning been?
Well, it just started. Yeah. So we are hoping for the best.
No, I didn't know he was in the cocoa board. He's from the cocoa zone, so it's a good appropriate one.
How are the floods treating you?
Well, it's quite unfortunate seeing some of the videos, going around. It's very, very pathetic, especially when you hear reports or sentiments from, young guys and ladies who have invested, almost everything that they have, in renting an apartment, and they are experiencing some of these issues. It's quite serious and very pathetic. In fact, I share in their sentiment. Fortunately for me, I have not experienced it, but that is not to say that we don't feel for others.
Right.
This also brings to the fore that we need to be very proactive and ensure that the laws work with the district and municipal or metropolitan assemblies. We need
at whichever level.
At whichever level, we shouldn't be reactive to some of these things because these are the responsibilities of people who are being paid at the end of every month. and they leave it, or they are unconcerned, or for whatever reasons. I mean, we annually experience some of this. I mean, it's quite sad. It's quite sad.
We'll talk more about the floods later, but we're starting from the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and Mr. Isi is not very happy with the conduct of the health minister. Okay. Well, here's his general observation, but limiting it to what is happening at CAF. People are roasting him over his reaction, suspending the CEO. They say that it does not solve anything.
Well, if I may know your name.
Noble.
Okay. Good morning
Noble
to you.
Crosby. Sure.
Noble, good morning to you.
Good morning.
My big brother, Mr. AEC. And also to all your listeners and viewers across the globe. Look, we are all entitled to our opinion. All right? We are all entitled to our opinion. But I can say in all certainty that people who kind of are roasting the health minister do not appreciate the issues. Let me give you a typical example. I think last 2 years or so, yes, if my memory serves me right, the honorable minister then in opposition was rushed to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital because he was involved in an accident coming from Seshioso, coming from his constituency actually. If you heard same, he was involved in an accident and he was rushed to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. So somebody who has had this personal experience, now having to think about what is happening to somebody who also finds him or herself in similar situation, but the person has been asked to go home. Go where? That is a question we need to ask ourselves. That somebody who is in a critical situation, who has been rushed to a hospital, a teaching hospital like Konfanochi, and the person is being asked to go home. Where? Where is the person going to? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Number two, whoever that is being referred to Konfanochi, it is not for the fun of it.
True.
It is either the person is in a critical situation, the person is unable to afford other alternative health care, as in being a private health care. Hence, that is the only hope that the person has. But here is the case, that because of no bed syndrome, the person is being driven away to go and do what? To go and die, obviously. Because if you are being driven away and you are not able to afford in other alternative health facilities, i.e. the private hospitals, then you are going to die. Let me be very candid with you. It is quite unfortunate I have to look directly to the face of Mr. EC and tell him that the MPP in this instant, they are being not fair. I just want to be very careful with the choice of words. They are not being very fair. Look, go back to 24th of November 2017. As 24th of November 2017.
Okay.
When we implemented the free SHS, some of the criticism that came was that, look, the wholesale implementation of this free SHS has created congestion. The response that came from the Deputy Minister, the Honorable Yao Educhum, was that it is better for the kids to even learn under trees than to be home or on the streets. What is this telling you? This is telling you that, look, if you say education is even expensive, you try ignorance. So if these people are left to be on the street, the consequence is very dire as compared to they finding themselves even learning under trees. But today, we are talking about the lives of people, patients who are in critical situation, and you are saying that they should be driven away because there are no beds. Now, the question you ask yourself is that if a patient is on the floor and is being treated, does that situation render the health provider incapable or inexperienced or disqualified from executing his professional mandate as a nurse or a medical doctor? These are pertinent questions that we need to ask ourselves. Noble, for instance, you seated here. If you should go to kind of a substandard station, all right? A station. That will not disqualify you, or that will not render you incapable of discharging your trained duty as a journalist. No. So if we reduce this whole conversation to the no-bet syndrome, then we are liking it to be like it has also rendered the service providers incapable.
But Jerome, so if we're talking, it may not be entirely about the bets. The bets is maybe how we refer to it, but we're talking about the people who are taking care of the patient on the beds. We understand that this is a facility designed to accommodate 37 people.
Okay.
So it means that the staff strength is in agreement with what is expected there.
Are you engaged in hypothesis, or
no? That's not what we're doing here. That's
what I'm saying. That
37 people. That's what it should take care of.
No. That is your opinion.
No, I'm not talking opinion here.
No, hold on. You are saying that the facility originally was to accommodate 37 people.
Yes, at a time. Yes.
So based on that, it is synonymous to the staff strength.
Yes.
There. Hold on. And that is why I said that you are engaging in hypothesis, because you cannot. There is no fact or evidence to back the claim that you are making this morning. And that is what I'm suggesting to you. There is no fact.
And what I'm also saying is that when these facilities are put up and requirement or specifications are made, they are made in tandem with the requirements, infrastructure, beds, oxygen cylinders, mask, gloves. Everything works in tandem with what the facility is supposed to do at that particular time.
Let's do this simple exercise. Media General, have you inquired how many personnel they ought to have employed, all right, at the beginning of the establishment of this organization? Have you inquired? But as time goes on, we've had expansion, isn't it?
Yes. When you expand, yes, make your point.
We've had expansion and all that. What I'm saying is that, or what I'm suggesting to you is that, even though there have been reports, which is right, that the facility originally was to accommodate some 37 people, all right, which is right. Nobody is disputing that. But you cannot say as a fact that it's synonymous to the number of staff.
How about other resources?
Hold on. Who are to work there? Other resources, we are talking about gloves and all that. Have you read any report suggesting, say,
oxygen cylinders, beds?
Have you read any report suggesting that there are no oxygen?
I'm coming, Jerome. I'm coming.
Hold on.
How is a facility?
The fact that there's an issue does not mean that we should impugn or suggest other issues which are not related.
I get what you're saying, but how is a facility that is designed to take care of 37 people at a time?
Okay.
How is that facility? Okay. Can't you arrive at a conclusion? Can't you make this logical deduction that it means the resources there are fit for that particular number?
No, that is, you see, what you are saying to be logic might not be logic after all. What you are saying, that is why I say that it is an exclusive hypothesis you are making. All right? Synonymous to you. Okay, you cannot suggest that it is in a generic form. No. Unless we read a contrary report suggesting that your proposition is actually the case. But if that isn't the case, then we need to stick to what is happening, as in no-bed syndrome, all right? And with the no-bed syndrome, we are talking about the quality of services which ought to be provided.
Yeah.
But that is what I'm saying, that if there are no beds, people are sitting in chairs receiving drips and all that. It does not render the doctor incapable of executing his duty.
Okay.
It does not render the nurse unqualified in executing his professional duty. And more so, anybody roasting the Honorable Akando, I have said up an issue that the person does not understand the various issues. Look, we are practicing an executive presidency. The minister is drawing his powers from the president. Is that not the case? Same as the chief executive. The chief executive at Confanoche is even answerable and responsible to the director of Ghana Health Service, as well as the Minister of Health. So administratively, you ask yourself if the Honorable Akando has erred administratively. If he has erred. He has not erred administratively. And what are the reasons assigned to the suspension that has been given? And I'm not sure suspension is same as was as dismissal.
True.
All right.
But Jerome, how about a few steps back?
So if the president, after the demise of Emisa, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Emisa.
Charles Emisa.
After the demise of Charles Emisa, the president in parliament posited clearly that never should it happen again, because if you are not affected, you would not appreciate what is that, because a life lost can never be what? Can never be reclaimed. A life lost can never be reclaimed. So if somebody today, if Mr. AEC, unfortunately, if he's being found in a very critical situation, he's been taken to 37 or he's been taken to Kolebu, and then we tell Jerome that, Jerome, take your patient away because there are no bed. And I know that within some few minutes, I am going to lose a brother. I'm going to lose a brother.
I get...
Meanwhile, they could have even made provision, or they could have even told me that, Jerome, take off your jacket, put it on the floor, let your patient lie on, let us give him first aid, or stabilize the situation. All right, or stabilize the situation. Thereafter, you take him to more comfortable place for onward treatment. What is wrong with that? Than to send the person away. And that is what we are talking about. That is the angle the honorable minister is coming from. And he is also enjoined by the words of his appointer. In this case, the president. So what do you want the person to say, or the person to do? The person should look on for one people to die, and also to flout the directive of what? Of his appointer. I mean, we should know better.
This unit was designed for about 37 patients, and at the time of the crisis, it was handling 61 admitted patients, with 40 more awaiting treatment. So we're looking at a number of 100. So this means that a center that was originally built for 37 was dealing with over 100 patients, either admitted or waiting. And the management said the halt was to allow staff to manage the backlog. It means they had gone over and above themselves, and they needed to manage the backlog, ease the congestion, and then, most importantly, improve patient care. So the intention, that's why I wanted to take a step back. If you want to understand it from the CEO's perspective, what wrong did he do?
So, hold on. The CEO is not acting in vacuum, or he didn't appoint himself.
Yes, we know that.
So at least, even if you are not going to resort to the minister, you could have made contact to the Director General of Ghana Health Service. That this is the situation I'm confronted with. All right. Now, looking at the challenge, I'm facing two challenges. One, the space to accommodate them, and then two, staff strength. All right, staff strength. And if it is about staff strength, they could have mobilized. All right? They could have made provisions for that. That, okay, if it is about staff strength, let us push some nurses there, or let's provide you with some nurses who can help contain the situation for now. Once we look into the future to expanding the facility that we have there. But that is not to suggest that, because look.
So you think there are other alternatives he could have adopted?
Of course, people coming from Seshi also. All right, in the Western North. So having referral from the Western North obviously comes to Confanoche. Referrals from the Bono Enclave comes to Confanoche. Referrals even from the northern part sometimes comes to Confanoche. Okay, and all that. So if these people are coming or are being referred in the view that they are going to receive emergency health care, they get there and they are being turned away. My question is, where are they to go? Where are they to go? Yes, in as much as you have pressure, we have to try and improvise, make room.
But you think they did not do that?
Look, I read or I quoted a publication that happened in 24th of November 2017. Okay, that when critics had given their opinion in relation to the congestion we were experiencing as a result of the wholesale implementation of the free SHS, the response we had was that it is better for these kids to even study under trees. Now tell me, is it appropriate for students, for people to be studying under trees? Is it appropriate? Is it a good thing?
So
why is that?
You're comparing apples.
Hold on.
Mr. Isi, hold on. Well, it appears that we're spending a lot of time on.
Why is that appropriate? Why is that one appropriate?
So when the MPP gave that response, you were not.
Don't you get immunized or injections even
yes,
at your workplace?
we do that.
I mean, so what are you saying?
So when the MPP gave the response that it is better for the children to stand under trees, the NDC was not happy, were they?
Is that we're not happy?
Yes.
What could we have done?
But it was not a response you expected.
Of course not. We didn't expect it. That was the response given.
Okay. So how?
All right. And this is about saving lives. Okay. This is about saving lives. And I'm happy you said you cannot compare apple and then oranges. Okay. We are talking about lives.
Even when
you are talking about lives.
Even when at a point where the facility, based on the share numbers, cannot guarantee quality care to save lives.
So what are we saying now? So what is the argument now? So the argument, hold on. So now the argument right now is that we are talking about a certain chief executive who, based on a directive he has given, contrary to what the president has said, has been asked to be on suspension for a specified period. Comparing that to the lives that are being lost. That is the argument we are putting across.
That's not the argument. The argument we're putting across is that there is a core problem that should be dealt with. The hospital did not say we are rejecting treatment. If this room, for instance, Jeremy, if this room is full, no space, if this room is holding maybe 700 people, no space.
If you see
and then other people are coming into the same room. How are we going to work in the room? That is what the CEO is talking about. He said that, hold on, go to other places. No, I'm not asking you to hold on. The CEO is telling you that, hold on, go to other places. Let us deal with what we have here.
Did the CEO name the other places?
Yes, he told them that they should visit other facilities.
Which facilities?
But there are other general facilities around the Ashanti region.
Tell me. You said the CEO said, so quote the CEO. Which adjoining facilities did they say?
Let me read this message to you. The hospital had a serious meeting with relevant health facilities in the Ashanti region to help redirect patients so they get the care they need.
Is this after they have made their directive? This is after they have made their directive, isn't it?
This is before they made the directive.
So tell me the adjoining hospitals, and let me say something to you. Which hospital in Kumasi or Ashanti region has the facilities that Komfanoche has?
And on that question, my answer to you would be that the hospital, although gave this directive, and this is a report that the correspondent in the Ashanti region, William Evans Inkum, gave, there were cases that, based on the gravity or the severity, although the hospital was still overpressed because of the point you're raising, the facilities and the skills they have, they thought and they knew that this is something we are best to deal with. So they still accepted. So clearly indicating that this is not a facility or this is not a CEO who intended or whose intention is to drive patients away.
You see, the whole argument or the whole conversation shouldn't center on the CEO or the minister.
No, that's not it.
Hold on. No, based on the last comment or statement that you made, all right, that is why I'm coming in to say that. So the argument shouldn't be limited to the CEO or the health minister, all right? But let us look into the matter critically. What is the position of the minister? The position of the minister is that there shouldn't be any life lost.
True.
Because of what? No bed
Makes
syndrome.
sense. Makes sense a lot.
Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
And that is in tandem with an earlier proposition made by the president. Okay. Again, it should be established that in as much as you have a chief executive who is manning Confanoche, the person is not a power to himself. So if you are to take any administrative decision which you think is beyond you, you need to resort to your authorities. And in this instant, your immediate authority is the Director General of Ghana Health Service.
Okay.
All right? Who also reports to the minister. So we find out if the chief executive resorted to this authority, and if he did, then you can even argue. That maybe the minister did not act right. But if you have the absence of these processes, then the chief executive has arrogated to himself a certain power he is not he's not having. Okay? More so when we have the lives of individuals, all right, at stake. When we have the lives of individuals at stake. So I wholly appreciate to an extent that we need to do more to equip our various hospitals, starting from the district hospitals right up to, the teaching hospitals and all of that. But this shouldn't be a reason for which we should be driving people who already are in a worrisome situation
away or to other places. Makes sense.
And I'm telling you that if there are other alternatives in the Ashanti region better than Confanoche, affordable than Confanoche, then you are making sense. So you should also put into consideration that those people coming, if you are to direct them to even one of the best private hospitals in the Ashanti region, are they going to be able to afford? Because it is sometimes not about the accessibility alone, but it is about the affordability as well. As well. So if they can be directed to a very good private hospital and they cannot afford, they are going to die anyways. They're going to die anyways. And that is the situation the minister wants to avert.
I see.
That's the situation the minister wants to avert. So yes, we can have a conversation, deal with the issues of infrastructure deficit in our various hospitals. That I agree. That I wholly agree. That we need to do more to improve, the services, the equipment needed, the staff, and what have you. I think every reasonable or sane individual will make same argument. But when somebody is already in pain, when somebody is in a critical situation, Noble, if you are in that situation, that is where you would appreciate what the minister or the president said is actually the way to the way to go. But this is also not to suggest that when we have the opportunity to expand infrastructure, we shouldn't do same.
I see.
That isn't the bane of my argument.
I get it.
That is not what I'm saying.
I get you.
All right? But in summary, what I'm saying is that administratively, the minister hasn't erred. If we are to say somebody has even erred, not to pass judgment, then it could be the chief executive. If there is no evidence of resorting to his authorities or superior in this instant, okay, the minister also was implementing directive being given by his appointer, i.e. the president. So we should look at it in that manner and discuss it devoid of sentiment or devoid of, affinity.
Yes, Mr. Isi.
Graphic online.
Please get closer to the microphone.
Yes, he says capacity is not an administrative detail. Let me read something small. One of the recurring misconceptions in public discourse is the belief that a hospital can indefinitely absorb increasing numbers of patients without consequences. This assumption is inconsistent with both operational reality and healthcare science. Every emergency department possesses finite resources.
True.
Beds, personnel, equipment, physical space, medication, oxygen supplies, laboratory support, imaging capacity, and critical care capabilities. These are real.
Where are you reading this from?
This is my job online. Sorry, graphic online.
And this is the point we're raising with Jerome. But so that this is something very important.
Very.
But again, does it not raise a question about how successive governments have not paid attention to this?
Definitely. That one I will not sit here and run away from the reality.
Right.
You get it.
Successive governments, including yours.
Yes, we that's why we make an example of this Kokobin Hospital in Oforikrom. We're talking about the Siwa. They even started the Siwa issues and Kuafari and Co. You get it. And we brought it up to almost an operational level. And then the trader one. These are adjoining facilities that are there that we are saying, Mr. President, government, Minister of Health, operationalize them. Okay? It's about beds and equipment and others. In fact, some even have the beds. You get it? So just get the needed things and the personnel to go and then begin to operationalize it. Then we can get some of these patients there. My brother was making the assumption that, yes, once the president says we should go... Crosby, I gave you, when I started, I told you about my experience at Comfort.
Yeah.
You get it? People were lying there, motor accident, butchered, bleeding, lying 30 minutes, nobody attending to them. I was just in shock. I said, what's going on? And some were saying, oh, Honorable Pa, don't worry yourself. I'm telling you. Some were looking at this, Honorable, you are worried about this. I said, yes. Why? If it's been long, these guys were brought here. What's up? So they were attend to them, you leave them. They were lying there. And so you are saying, just take them. Hospital overwhelmed. No personnel, not sufficient equipment and other things to manage their situation. You leave them there to die or to do what? Because in the same analogy you are making, which is good, I agree with you. Take them elsewhere, they cannot afford it. Leave them here, nobody is attending to them. The resource. You get it? Because if, they are not there, families and others would strive to say, okay, let's try the other place and see. But once you leave them here, everybody thinks they are going to attend to them.
So
the situation is going to be worse.
If both approaches were not right,
yes,
the minister's
it's not appropriate at all to suspend
the minister's response is not good.
And my brother was saying he resorted to higher authorities to do what? At that time, this is the situation. Crosby gave you the example. 37, we had 61, 40 on standby. And still, you said we should keep pushing.
We're getting messages from some people who work in emergency units.
Yes.
And they're telling us that when floors get full and people are lying on the floor, how do the nurses or the staff taking care of...
You even gave the clear situation.
Well,
when do you even step? You get it?
Yes.
And the example, let me finish. The example he
just a
gave
minute so that you come in.
The example he gave with the free SHS, they don't match. You get it? It doesn't come. Look, Kwame Nkrumah started his free SHS at the trees. Okay? Professor D.D. Kupoli, former Vice Chancellor of UCC, a beneficiary.
Although the example...
Health issues are different.
Although they may be different, but it's still not good for students to study and that's established.
No. You see, the ideal situation should have... That's why we brought the double shifts and all those things. You get it?
Yes.
It's
okay.
Those are important.
Okay. Jeremy,
the health matters. You are lying there. You think a doctor is coming and nobody is coming. That is even worse.
Jeremy, you wanted to make a point.
So
we'll have to do some other subjects. Yes.
Minister should get up and they should recall the
haven't you heard situations whereby health professionals in a commercial vehicle have tried to resuscitate people who needed help?
Of course.
Now you ask yourself, you ask yourself that in that commercial vehicle, all right, in that commercial vehicle, was it an appropriate place to provide?
He's not getting the thing. Jerome.
Hold on.
Staff overwhelmed.
Please hold on.
I see.
He says we don't appreciate the thing.
It's okay. Let Jerome make his point.
You've stated your point. All right. You've stated your point.
Yes.
You've shared your experience.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You shared an experience at Confirmation.
Yes.
I can share my experience. Okay. Look, if you could see my finger. All right. If you could see my finger, just about 3 weeks. Unfortunately, I got wounded by my own game. All right. So the next morning, I rushed to Cocoa Clinic. Okay. I rushed to Cocoa Clinic for treatment.
Yeah.
When I rushed to Cocoa Clinic, Because of the quality of services Cocoa Clinic is provided, the place was full. Okay. Ideally, because of the injections I should be given, I ought to have lied on the bed. There wasn't any bed. But I sat in a chair. They gave me the injections, other medications, and they got my wound treated. At the end of the day, if I had been driven away, that Jerome, we have no bed here, and as such, we cannot accommodate you. You are telling me to go with the pain that I was in as
I get it. I get it. You're making very sound points.
The pain that I was in as at that time. Whether I'm going to make it to
the
my
point you got there,
Mr. Isi, I'm coming. So
please.
So what I was saying.
Hold on.
Yes,
You see, he is telling me that at the time I go to Cocoa Clinic, they were not overwhelmed. But at the time that you go to Confanoche, you saw people lying on the floor. Hold on. That rendition of yours ought to be taken by Jerome, isn't it? I should take it.
Oh no, let's not take that. Let's not do that argument.
Yes. Hold on. I am giving an account of my personal experience.
True.
Yes. You are telling me that mine is far from the truth because
that's not what I said.
You are saying they were not overwhelmed.
Yeah, the hospital had not declared that they were overwhelmed.
Hold on.
But this one has declared.
Okay. So
they had not, because if they do, because Cocoa Clinic somewhat is a private hospital, they can make same to their management. All right? They can say same to their management and not necessarily to the public. They can say same to their management.
I get what you're saying.
All right?
I get what you're saying.
And me being part of management, I knew they were overwhelmed. I knew they were.
Part of management then?
Yes.
You were part of their staff?
I have been part of their management because by virtue of working at Cocoa Clinic.
I get what you're saying. But Jerome, how about this situation when you got there? Mr. Isom, I'm coming.
The point I'm making is, wait until you are faced with that challenge. Wait until you find yourself in that situation. So the point that we are making is that, yes, in as much as we appreciate the situation, because it is not lost on us. Are you to say that I am oblivious about the fact that Confanoche needs infrastructure? Confanoche needs some equipment. I'm not oblivious of that. Never. But what I'm saying is that, in as much as I'm not oblivious about the various...
You haven't addressed the argument of adjoining hospitals being operationalized.
I put up the question to you, that the adjoining hospitals, were they named? Let's even assume they were named. Are these hospitals that if you are to refer somebody there, are they having the capacity same as Confanoche?
Yes.
All right. Are they having are they having same as Confanoche? Two, is it affordable for those people who have been referred, all right, to be able to what? To be able to pay. To be able to pay.
So why is built to a regional hospital standard?
I am not saying it is not.
Operational.
But we are talking about the instant case where these hospitals you are making reference to are not in operation.
So that's why he's saying that make them operational.
Making it operational, it will be operational.
That's better than suspending.
No, we are dealing with the instant case.
Yeah,
that is what we are dealing with.
But there's an underlying factor.
All right, that's what we are dealing with now.
The underlying factor is that
somebody has
is a matter of capacity.
Somebody has come to 3FM. The person is being chased by, some armed robbers. And we say that, the place is full. So the person can go to Unia FM. The person moving from 3FM to Unia FM, the person possibly might have lost his life or her life.
True.
So we squeeze, we accommodate the person, and then we find reason or solution thereafter. Okay, I am not in any way
I get it.
positing that we are not to operationalize certain hospitals which are near completion or have even been completed. That is not the bane of my argument. That is not what I'm saying.
You must also appreciate the CEOs.
But what I'm
communicable and non-communicable diseases.
I get it. But I like what Mr. Isi read about the finality.
Yeah.
How finite resources are in these health facilities. I get the points that the both of you are making. Mr. Isi is saying that the Mr. Kandos conducts leaves much to be desired. There are other facilities that should be operationalized. I get it. You also raise a very important point that human life is important. Regardless of the situation, find something to do about it. And I'm also saying that while the 2 points are very important, it is still very possible that the hospital or the facility had done everything it could. With the example you made at Cocoa Clinic, for instance, imagine you got there. Yes, you had to lie on the bed, but you sat in a chair. Imagine all the chairs there were full and all the floors were full. Then the hospital may be compelled to tell you to go somewhere else.
There were instances, I'm not making it up.
Okay.
There were instances, I saw people standing. There were instances.
And if all the places to stand are full, now you don't think it can happen?
You are stretching.
I understand you.
These are the realities that the CEO was confronted with.
I understand you.
I am not subjecting the CEO to condemnation. That is not what I'm doing.
I get it.
I
get you.
Resorted to superior.
That is administrative.
There are some he's not with the powers to decide.
We have to talk about other things.
That's administrative.
I sit at
20 seconds.
I sit at Cocoa Board to direct communications. All right, but I report directly to the chief executive. So whenever there is an issue in relation to Cocoa matters, okay, in as much as I can even respond or whatever, it is administratively correct to even share with your CEO that chief.
No, but you're speaking for him, so he should be in the know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you know the terms of reference, all right, or engagement with respect to the appointment of the chief executive of Confanoche? He is not an authority to himself. And even in this case, do you know my chief executive? Hold on. Do you even know that my chief executive is subject to the directives that being given by the finance minister? Because that is the supervising minister.
Yes, but he's clothed with some powers to make certain decisions.
Nobody is saying that you are not clothed with the power. But what I'm saying is that when you are making a very critical decision, all right, a very critical decision
to save the patients in the hospital.
There is nothing wrong.
If you listen to the statement from the hospital, the statement said the hospital's management has deemed it appropriate to temporarily curtail further administration. So it was not a decision that the CEO took arbitrarily. Bota is a lecturer at the UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research, as well as an international relations analyst. Doc, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Hope you're good.
I'm well, thank you. Thank you. This morning, it's good news that the third batch of Ghanaians have arrived. And now, although some people think that it is late, the South African president has now arrived at the party. He's condemning what is happening in South Africa. I'd like for you to hold on for a minute so that you take a listen to what he's saying, and then we can talk about it, dovetail the conversation nicely.
Thank you.
No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance in South Africa. As communities and as a society, we must not be tempted to join those who want us to turn against people who were not born in South Africa and who are in our midst. We will and must not allow groups to use the legitimate concerns of South Africans to destabilize our country through inciting lawlessness and violence.
And Dr. Bota, so that's President Cyril Ramaphosa there, raising two issues mainly, condemning what is happening in South Africa, but also denying what many people now think is the reality of South Africa. From where you sit, do you also think that he's living in a certain paradise that is not real?
That's a funny one there. I mean, good morning to our cherished listeners this morning. I'm delighted to join you in helping create an understanding on these issues. Yes, quite frankly, even as we appreciate the efforts of the president in speaking at this time, in diplomatic parlance, we always think that it is better late than never. So he has done well, and I think this is what he should have actually done weeks ago. As to what constitutes the silence, it's for them to tell us. But whether now or if it were to be previous, the reality at hand is that we must establish the fact that South Africa's posture on this matter now constitutes both an impunity and a diplomatic escalation. And you would see the seeming hypocrisy and double standards of South Africa in, number one, the position of the president, which is completely different from the positioning of Ronald Ozi, who is the foreign minister for South Africa. Now, when it comes to crafting foreign policy, the president is the number one actor. But the minister in charge of foreign affairs or international relations and cooperation, as they term him, is actually the number one diplomat of the country. So in matters of diplomatic and consular relations, we are looking at the posture of these two actors. And if they cannot operate in consensus and in consistency with themselves, then it means that there is a missing link in terms of what their foreign policy trajectory is on this matter. So then, I don't trust whatever the president is saying now on the basis of this analysis. What we expect to see is not words at this point. It must be clear action, and that is the way to go. Because, my brother, let us make this analysis. Look, I initially used the term impunity and diplomatic escalation because, you know what, South Africa have grossly, under the circumstances, violated their obligations under international law through a number of instruments. For example, if you look at the provisions of Article 5 of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations of 1963, you will realize that the country have grossly betrayed the international obligation that enjoins them under compulsory means to actually protect citizens of other nationals or sending states in their country as a receiving state. That is just number one. Number two, you also come to the realization that even from the perspective of human rights, and here we must recognize that South Africa as a regional power and Ghana as one of the influential states in the African continent are both signatories of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so critical articles like Article 6, 7, 9, and even Article 26, these articles actually talk or speak to, if you like it, the right to life, freedom from cruelty and inhumane or degrading treatment. This is what Article 7 says. Whatever that must have happened to Ghanaians and other African citizens there constitutes a flagrant abuse of these particular fundamental rights. And even so, Article 9 is critical on security of persons. Has South Africa guaranteed adequately the security of other foreign nationals there to whom they owe an international duty of care? Factually, no. So if all of these things have happened, and you look at the provisions of our international covenant on civil and political rights, which have been violated, then at this point we cannot be talking about mere rhetorics from presidents, and by the way, which is countered by threats from his own foreign minister. What we should be expecting is action. What is that action? The action that the law enjoins them, and the international law again, in fact, to begin, not absolute security, but reasonable security. So what are they doing for the rest of our nationals who are still in South Africa?
You have no call credits in your MTN account.
Unfortunately, we'll have to call Dr. Bota back, but this is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Stay with us. Gentlemen, if we're talking about the recent happenings, okay, I understand we've reconnected with Dr. Bota. Dr. Bota, sorry, we lost you at a point, but I'd like for you to wrap up on your point, then I would ask you one more question.
Yes, so under the circumstances, we need action. First of all, the president must be telling Ghana and other African nationals like Malawi, Zimbabweans who are also living, Nigerians and Ugandans, the exact security measures he is taking to guarantee that minimum international protection to our nationals who are still there. He should tell us the designated camps where these people must be protected or must be kept safe because they are no longer safe in their homes. You see, once he starts things like that, then he is walking the talk of diplomacy. Until then, this current posture should not entirely be accepted and should be treated diplomatically with a pinch of salt.
I see. And now the position of the government of Ghana through the Foreign Affairs Minister is that we are putting together a comprehensive legal process to pursue and then secure all financial compensation for citizens whose businesses and life savings were destroyed in the latest wave of the anti-immigrant violence in South Africa. If Ghana wants compensation, it should gather what evidence? Police reports, medical reports, videos, and all of those. And can we realistically take legal action against South Africa, or it's more of a diplomatic tool?
Okay, so clearly the matter is one that lies in the intersection of international relations and international law. So like I previously indicated, South Africa is not just any mere nation in the continent. It is actually about the leading regional power. And what that means is that it should be the country offering protection to other nationals even than any other country. So to the extent that South Africa have lost this, you see, or its inability to offer this, damages its moral authority. Now, that immediately creates a legal question. And that legal question must be answered in the face of three dimensions. One, have they been able to defend African citizenship? The answer is no. Have they defended human dignity and the international human rights law? No. And under the imputable principles of international obligation, is there state responsibility on South Africa and its inability to do this? Yes. So on the basis of this, there can be a prima facie case in international law to bring a course of action against them. Now, Ghana must therefore not exercise hostility if that is the way we want to go. But what Ghana can do is to frame our situation then as a defense to these deficiencies of South Africa. One, African citizenship, not just Ghanaian nationals. Two, human dignity against nationals of Ghana whose human rights have been abused. And then we impute that state responsibility is established. Why? Because what we are witnessing is hate violence from non-state actors. However, South Africa's refusal to act swiftly and promptly fails the standard of test of reasonability in international law. And under those circumstances, it can be concluded in law that the state has played a negligent role in avoiding the situation or preventing the situation from further escalation. And that is a condition in international law for state responsibility. By your act or omission, if things like this happens without reasonable care from you, state responsibility is automatically imputed under international law. Therefore, what Ghana needs is to, in our statement of claims, we just simply need to be able to prove a claim that Ghanaians and even other African nationals suffered, attacks or intimidation, or even the element of unlawful dispossession, which is happening because you see them vandalize people's shops, take their property, and so on and so forth. So if Ghana is able to do this, then what we need is to build our evidence-based claims using video evidences, number one, using, reported speeches by victims, number two, and then most importantly, medical, verifications or medical reports of those who had at least some first aid, either from medical facilities or from humanitarian agencies like the Red Cross International. These will constitute the factual evidential basis upon which a course of action can be made. And if our claims are built on faith, it will be difficult for South Africa to win the case. And this is what I expected the Minister for International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa to have known before actually literally threatening Ghana and telling us we are exaggerating the matter rather than just evacuating citizens. That was, in the greatest respect, very undiplomatic from a seasoned lawyer who has been a minister of justice and who understands these things I am actually, talking about. So clearly, Ghana has a case. In as much as, and I must add, that legally and diplomatically we have a strong case, we must present this case through, first of all, the African Union diplomatic mechanisms. And once we are able to do that, then we are also sending signal of our reasonability and adherence to, equity, which is a fundamental requirement when dealing with these things. The reason is because Ghana must be able to legally navigate this situation, making all the maneuverings without being hostile to the diplomatic relations we share with South Africa. That is what it should be.
Doc, thank you. But if you can say this in 20 seconds, there are concerns about the levels of, how do you call it, enforceability of international law. that because it may not be binding on states, then it means South Africa may just be sanctioned in a way that does not touch its core. Briefly.
Well, it is actually wrong to think that international law is not obligatory on states. It is actually fundamentally obligatory and binding on states. The problem we have in international law is enforcement. However, if Ghana makes a claim before an international arbitration or an international court of justice and wins in our course of action, and there are problems of enforceability, it is still victory for us, because if South Africa refuses to comply by way of enforcement, but it leaves a diplomatic strain on their country. You see, the matter we are talking about is an issue that has implications for global peace and security. Imagine, and I don't advise that at all, imagine if Ghana wasn't legally disciplined and started retaliatory attacks on South Africa. It was now going to be a different story and to affect the entire African continent. So that diplomatic strain that will be on South Africa has implications for them in their global interactions with other entities within the multilateral system, in trade, industry, diplomacy, peace and security, etc. And I don't think South Africa wants that, especially at the time they are one of the fundamental pillars of BRICS. So these are actually very technical issues. But Ghana must proceed, as the foreign minister has indicated, with the legality of the matter, except that we should just be diplomatically hard, but legally disciplined. And the evacuation of our nationals, especially vulnerable ones, must continue. And if the airspace challenge is still happening with a sabotage of our aircraft landing, then we can use a third-party country to fly our citizens. That is an option available to the president and Ghana as a state.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elvis Botta, lecturer, UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research. We're very grateful for your time with us on the program.
Most grateful.
And gentlemen, so that's Dr. Botta, an international relations analyst, also a lecturer in peace and security, talking to us about the latest happenings in South Africa. I don't know whether it came as a surprise to you, the comment from Ramaphosa that it was surprising.
I was asking, was he asleep? Didn't he know what was going on in his own country? You get it? And the whispers across the international corridors, especially Nigeria and Ghana, say we should rise up against this company. You get it?
He still says they are not xenophobic.
That's surprising. The conduct, people attacking on... He himself admitted it was wrong for people to attack people on the streets and then demand. I was surprised that he says it's not xenophobic. South Africa is not xenophobic. This is about a 5 or so time that issues of this nature is come up. Okay? And now he's decided to speak, and this is what he's saying.
You think he better have not spoken?
Mr. President, it's good you spoke, as the diplomat said.
Right.
Better late than never. But what he said, there are more questions than
answers.
It doesn't even tell me he's really committed to the suffering of the other citizens in his country.
But now, we're brought our own in Ghana, and we're treating them well, right?
Yes.
It's
good. You see, but before, I'll continue, but somebody sent me a message that my brother's treatment at Kuku Clinic, I spoke about communicable diseases and those things. He says his father, COVID, was asked to leave. You get it, because the place was congested. But people who had wounds were being treated when they came. So his case was smaller. They could have attended.
South Africa.
Oh, no, it's good. I'm happy the foreign minister and government have decided to go in there and support our people. That's the right and appropriate thing to do. All governments have been taking those steps. And two, when they went, I think about a third batch is now in, and it's good. And government has been talking nice politically and diplomatically about the fate of those returnees. And I pray that is actually translated into actuals of getting them those opportunities that they missed back in SA by their evacuation. So it's good. I pray government goes further to I heard somewhere the Honorable Foreign Minister saying so far I think 200 people have been gotten, some 100 of them directly from Ibrahim Mohammed's companies and co. That's a good one. I think we need to do everything to make them settle. One thing is, Noble.
Yes, sir.
When people travel out and for whatever reason they come back, not on their own volition, they don't think of any other thing but to go back. That's what they do, all of them. All of them. If you see somebody who is gone out and was brought back, not on his decision, he doesn't do anything else. The next avenue to go back is all he does. And some will be struggling till, they don't get the opportunity and life becomes something. You get it? But once government is taking steps to settle them properly, I think then they will refocus and say, okay, now we've gotten something doing, even though it may not be like what we're doing in SA, you get it? But the security and protection at home is better. The peace of mind is better. And we encourage government to do that for our brothers and sisters who have returned home. Most of them are people who have their artisans, right? Handicrafts and co.
They have skills.
Yes, skills and co. Let's set them up, you get it? And be able to make ends meet here and decide to stay home. Not to be eager to go back to SA for whatever reason. I think we need, and Cyril Ramaphosa, I think he has to officially apologize to African Union. He has to officially. I heard Julius Malema. I was happy with. He asked a question. I said, President Mahama has come to take the first by 300 people. Those 300 people who have left, have you created 300 jobs for South Africans? That was a legitimate question he was asking them. You get it? And he is a Pan-Africanist. So he thinks what they were doing is inappropriate. That the president must rise up to the occasion. He's been asleep for too long.
Right. Jerome, they have come. We have close to 1,000 now. I'm sure can they rest assured that government will take care of them? They'll find jobs and they'll be fine and live happily ever after in Ghana.
You see, I think the government deserves some applause.
True.
All right? I mean, for what they've done. I mean, other African countries, we've heard what Nigeria has said in relation to the evacuation of, his citizens. And we've also seen the way and manner other countries have also gone by, using cars or buses and all that. But we decided to go by a plane and all that. That signals that we are much concerned about the livelihood and the well-being of our people. So I think that on the basis of that, the president and government deserve to be commended for the. At a point, I felt like I ought to have belonged to this troop, all right? Because coming from South Africa and receiving some stipends and other goodies and all that, people have been here. You can liken it to what happened in the Bible, the prodigal son goes and then comes back and then he receives the goodies and all that. But I think these are all part of the process to make them settle and fine-tune in the system that is being built now as a country. I find the comments by especially the International Relations Minister of South Africa very absurd, nauseating, and it makes no sense. All right, at least if I cannot refer to His Excellency Ramaphosa as not making meaning. I think this one I can use all the adjective appropriate enough to qualify him, because it doesn't make sense for you to come out as an international relations minister to openly say what he said. Then if you are to say that, then what it clearly means is that you support whatever that is going on. You support same. And I don't know how many big companies or investments that Ghanaians have in South Africa as compared to what they have
in Ghana.
All right, as compared to what they have in Ghana. And we are providing security and everything for your investment here as compared to even the taxes you give us. So if we are to wake tomorrow and we besiege the premises of these identifiable organizations and we drive you people away, I mean, what's going to happen? You're going to lose billions of dollars. You're going to lose billions of dollars. So sometimes it is important for us to tell our people that, hey, we are messing up. We need not to engage in certain. And this has become a ritual that they do quite often. It's become a ritual.
Yeah.
And nobody has stood up to them. So they think that we can do and then get away with it. But if we begin to also touch them here, I think they will reason. If you begin to touch them here, they will reason. And
there's a senator in Nigeria who is called.
When you say touch them, how do you mean?
Touch their shoulders.
I'm not here to demystify that, but I think that. But I think that. You see, no, but why should you deliberately hurt me and go scot-free? Deliberately, you want to hurt me, and then you go scot-free. But I think that in our nature as Ghanaians, it is only a Ghanaian that an armed robber or a thief will come and steal from him. And when the thief is being caught and being beaten, the same person will go and say, oh, leave him. You see, that's our nature. That's the Ghanaian for you. You get it? That's the Ghanaian for you. So on the basis of that, people sometimes take us for a ride. I think that going forward, we need to up our game and exhibit people that, hey, the fact that we are gentle, the fact that we are accommodating, the fact that we are humane and all that does not mean that you can do whatever that you want and then go scot-free. Look, I decided to do some readings in respect of the contributions both countries have lent to each other. And I think ours surpasses that of South Africa, because at a point I think we even offered the Ghanaian passport. All right, we even offered Ghanaian passport to this ANC people.
Yes, we did.
This apartheid bridge.
This
during
ANC
apartheid,
people,
South Africa was Ghana.
We've offered financial and military aid. We've done a lot.
As Rollins said it, I watched the Rollins video where he said they had to gather $1 million for Nelson Mandela when they were going to.
We've done a lot for them to engage in this silly acts that they are meting out to Ghanaians. I think Ghana should have been the last country for which they will met out this heinous or this attacks on. But hey, we are having a diplomat as a president. All right, a very fine gentleman who, even in the midst of absurdity of a sort, he knows how to go about it. So we leave it in the hands of the president. He being the lead, whatever that he deemed fit as a leader, we go with it. But if I were to be in that position, maybe I would have been a bit radical.
That will touch them small.
I would have been a bit radical.
We touch them small, but you not demystify it. But you spoke about, we have to go though, gentlemen, but you spoke about how Mr. Mahama is a good leader and all. What is happening to the NDC? Who is leading after Mahama? It's been a lot of noise. What is happening?
Who is leading after Mahama?
Yes.
A Ghanaian will lead.
I mean, somebody from the NDC.
Yes, a Ghanaian.
So why
a Ghanaian who is qualified under the laws to be a voter and to be voted for will lead.
So where is this finance ministry?
What is the basic
agric ministry?
What is the basic qualification stated in the Constitution to become a president?
Sound mind, 40 years plus, those things.
Being a Ghanaian, being a registered voter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody with that qualities will lead.
It appears there's a lot of here and there.
These are hearsay.
They are?
And hearsay evidence are inadmissible.
In court.
Yeah.
Video evidence is hearsay. Come on, let video evidence is hearsay. They're spraying mosquito with.
Haruna Idrisu was speaking there, talking about the thank you talk.
Talked about what? Whose name was mentioned? Talked about what? No, just tell me.
I could see any name.
No, Jaron wants specific. He didn't mention the name of this person. He did not mention anybody's name.
You don't need the name.
You get it? You don't mention it.
But you can infer, can't you?
Infer from what?
Okay. Thank you. How many thank you tours are we having?
But do you know how many thank you tours the president's even has had?
We have para thank you tours. We say one is official, the other one, yeah.
But we as regional executive, we've had thank you tours.
Okay. But do you have keep fit exercises too and all of that? Regional executives.
But as and when. But we have young groups that we go on keep fit and
so
all
you
that.
also do exercises there.
I've been exercising. And
like walks, like the Julius walk, that kind of.
Oh, but I find myself. No, I find myself. All right. Where Julius is. No, like his area. So if you're going for a key fit,
it's a specification for me, his area, not the other one.
No. So if he's going for key fit, and maybe I so decide to join. All right. It is not of maybe certain ambition, or in fact, he has not even come to share any ambition with me.
Or anybody else at all.
Else.
There's nothing public. Nobody has come to communicate anything.
So what it is?
So much ado about nothing. Mr. You see, the MPP, you have gone through your phase. So now you are fine. Remaining the chairman.
I did that.
No, there's still another big one coming. But
I did that.
At least
these ones are what?
Which ones?
Do you have a word of advice for the NDC?
Oh,
you see,
there's
a lot of suspicions and mistrust.
The question you've asked me, you see, it's like telling somebody who sells apetition to go and advise someone who's going to purchase apetition.
So talk to them. You have experience. Talk to them.
How can it be about operative advice?
We've been through the phase and we've come back together. But the issue, there's a little suspicion, mistrust, and co. Maybe what General Mosquito said somewhere about what he did to ensure that certain leadership was removed, and then, and then the response from the education minister, spraying mosquito and killing mosquitoes and co. And then the other aspect, don't worry. The other aspect.
Well, we don't understand. You have to explain it so that we understand.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
then
there's nobody by name Mosquito. Is there anybody by name?
Oh, yeah, there's a mosquito in Ghana. General Mosquito. Your chairman, your party chairman.
But who bears the official name of Mosquito?
It's not his Ghana card. It's not his Ghana card.
That's not the person.
But he himself admits it. The only chairman Mosquito.
Anyways.
And then the issue of the finance minister, the Greek minister, mistrust, release of funds and all that. Because all of them are eyeing the question you raised. Who takes over from these?
Maybe it is we sitting at the back who is reading meanings and nothing is happening.
No, Deputy Minister speaking. Did you see the Greek minister, the way he was looking at the man? If he were close to him, he would have given him a knockout. What did you get it? So please, we entreat the NDC to take it easy. They are in power. They should focus on the president's vision for now. And when the ban is lifted, and they are given the free way to go and campaign, they do it. For now, they are damaging the government more than doing good to the Ghanaian people.
Who knows?
Good advice.
If the time is due, maybe I may contest as flag.
Of course. You are not 40.
Presidente.
You can't contest. You are not 40.
Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us.
Africa, unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon.
Sam Jerome is Director of Public Affairs at Cocoa Board and a communications team member of the NDC. And Georgia Isi is a former head of communications at NADMO and also a communications team member of the NPP joining us here in the studio. This morning, we've also spoken with Dr. Elvis Botta. And Dr. Botta is an international relations analyst and a lecturer at the UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research.
We are the children.
If few birthdays this morning before we go. Today's your birthday. I want to wish you happy birthday.
Life be sweet, life be tasty like honey. Enjoy the beautiful thing.
And our first birthday wish this morning, it is going to happy birthday Judith Anku Jikunu inside Ashaman, Lebanon. Have a wonderful day to you, Judith Aku Jikunu. And I'm sure this is coming from Mawina Egbeta Eric. The next birthday this morning, happy birthday Roderama Sintima. Always the reliable one, wishing you joy today and all the year. You deserve it, God bless you. Happy birthday to you, Rhoda A. Rama. Okay, nice picture. Happy birthday to Owusu Warai, Concept Warai. May God's favor, grace, and blessings always go before you. Industry man, happy birthday, senior. God bless your new age. And finally, happy birthday to Linda Tete. May God bless you with good health, happiness, peace, and countless reasons to smile throughout this new year of your life. Happy birthday to you, Linda Tete. This is from Big Joe. My name is Noble Crosby, and thank you so much for spending the morning with us. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. DJ Phil, take us away.
92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Oh, I'm hot. Yo, kind of the bend my chest. Timusu sun kasa. Timusu sun kama wasem bo. I play cool, but hey, I'm hurt. Timusu sun kasa. I don't take things seriously. Back to back continuously. Oh my grind, Muhammad Ali. So you can put the blame on me. I don't look, I don't feel, I don't sense. Feel hating, but it's sitting on the bench. This dream, nobody go fi quench. If you can't love, don't show interest. The way men reason nowadays. So I call God and I pray nowadays. The show love, God, you know why it is. So I don't focus on the pain. It's me and my homies. Steady no man, and nobody can run me. But I'm a boy, nobody can hand me. And for a fact, me, I'm in no me. Oh, yo, kind of bend my chest. Timonsu sun kasa. Timonsu sun kame wansa. Oh, shit, I play cool,